I'm losing power so fast. But I thought I'd go live for a minute. No, I look terrible. I'm gonna look great when I get like a. Maybe I should go down here. Yeah, I'll go down there. Oh my god, I can hear screaming Steve. I can't believe it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I hear him on another thing. Hold up, Steve. Let me see here. Let me go to my. Anyway, I look like crap. I'm out. I got my car fixed. Let's deal with it. What I'm watching? Oh, that's right. I'm watching myself. I think I look really bad. I guess I'm just watching myself. Okay. I don't think I need these. Okay. Where am I? Where is everybody? Where is everybody? Well, there's two people. I'm watching. I'm one of them. I thought I'd watch a little bit of this. I'm waiting for my car, and I'm in Santa Monica at a coffee shop. It fills. Of course. It fills. Of course. It spills everywhere. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Cause it's getting me down. How are you? I'm just waiting for my car to get fixed. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss the action. Oh, my computer's losing power so fast. I gotta find a plug. I wonder where there's a plug. Where a plug? You know what? There's a plug over there. Hold on. Hold on. Seating is limited and reserved. Okay. I'm so excited. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Here we go. Surf naked. Come on. Sounds painful, actually. Kind of. Seems like you're gonna get in trouble if you were kind of doing that, I think. Hold on just a minute. Oh, shit. Hot shit. No. Okay, get out of there. Get out of there, Duck. Just like your father. So let's do this, and then we're gonna do this. I don't know which one it is, but it's okay. It's not. It's charging. Yay. Okay. Okay. I'm back. Hi, Rip. Really? Tony Bennett? Oh. Hi, Pepper. How are you? How are you? I know. I literally haven't washed my hair in 3 days. No face makeup. Sweating. Gross. Like, this is how much I love you guys. Can't believe it. Can't believe how much I love you. I'm in Santa Monica. Okay. I'm excited about this. Maybe if we sing to them, but we slip in a harder language into classic music, that's a good thing. Like, when you see that bitch, when you see that bitch across the fucking room. I think so. I got it, Rick. I think we can do this, Rick. We can take old standards and throw in a couple F-bombs. Yeah. Come to Caesar and give it. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's how you train them. Of course. I'm glad all the sad bitches that I blocked, except for one. I don't know why I blocked her, but we'll find out, I'm sure. Can you guys share this so that everybody comes and watches? That'd be great. I've got a little bit of time, so I want to spend it with you guys, if you don't mind. Sure. I'm gonna hit the like too. So silly. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Go, 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 go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Go, 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 go. I don't even know. Is he in the actual courthouse yet? Because I saw his plane on the ground in Bedminster, in New Jersey. So do we know? I mean, I think he's landed, right? Sorry, I'm in a silly mood. I'm in a silly mood. You guys can't hear the music. I know that every time I keep forgetting that. I really should clean my hair. I just gotta loosen myself, but oh well. This is what it is. I think he's motorcading right now. Oh, okay. IDK just got hurt. Okay. They should send him on a delivery drone in Manawha. I think it's a great idea. I'm sure there's no Geneva Convention against that. Snort. Pepper, I love you. How are you doing, Pepper? Pepper saltine. This is like not very interesting. I mean, they're not even saying anything. Let me see if I can find something else. Boring. Boring. Isn't that what I'm watching? What am I watching? Oh, I'm not live? What the fuck? I'm sorry. In a public place. It'd be nicer. Midas catches on in an hour. I can't find any other live. Wait, hold on. Really? Really? Really, Grease? Really, Grease? Okay. USA Today is not doing anything right now. Liars? Oh, oh, that's right. We're already watching that. Where's Max? Where's Max's nothing? Okay, well, we'll just hang here. Yes, bowl. Yes, bowl. BRB bio break. We'll start saying BRB bio break. A good thing. Love you guys. I love you too. They're not saying anything, I don't think. Let me just make sure it's turned up. Oh, I don't even have it turned on. I'm so sorry. Oops. Sorry. Thought Biden coffee cup thing. That was the perfect timing. I don't know if he was in on that, but that was really, really good. Really good. Really good. Sorry, I'm in a super silly mood today. And I don't know if a certain someone from Pennsylvania is listening or lurking, but you might have missed my tag of you in a post last night. Hi, Michael, how are you? So, Taylor Jennings, I need to talk to you. You need to acknowledge my tweet. Because either you were taken advantage of or you were part of it. And I would like to know which one it is. So, the ball's in your court, Taylor. You can explain to me why you went around my back to someone who is targeting me. So you let me know why you did that. Let me know. I'd really like to know. I'd really like to know what you got for that. I'd really like to know. We just got uniforms for my soon to be. Oh, Michael, that's so great. I love it. It's so exciting. I hope they're excited. I hope they're really excited. That's really cool. Back to school is so fun. It can be so fun. That's great. Expected to be for Last night was a great space hosted by Pam. I love how people are coalescing in community around her. It was great to see all the share. Michael, you're so right. Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. Yeah, that's really, yeah. I've not heard her story, and I'm so impressed. She was amazing. She was really amazing. Yeah, I think we're lucky. See, the thing about, I certainly have issues with people who chose to become part of the Republican or the GOP. Hey, Rogue, how you doing? I don't have good feelings about people that made choices to go into the Trump administration. At the same time, I am grateful that they are willing to tell all or tell as much as they can, because then we have answers. And I think it's really important. Good morning, Mike. How are you? I think it's really important that the American people have answers, because I think that is the only thing that's going to help us heal. Right? No comment on person being part of it. That was news. Yeah, that was news to me. That was news to me too. He was a good friend of mine. I told him a lot of my personal feelings about things, and I fully expect those to come out any day now on Twitter. So get ready, everyone. Lolo exposed. Oh well. I just trust people too much. It was a great space. Oh my god. Give me coffee. It was a great. I mean, the whole afternoon, like right from Natalie's to. It was great. It was really great. Dr. Hassan, oh my God. I'm still like, I can't even believe I was in that space. Oh, the staffer. What do you mean the staffer? Wait, I think I missed it. I'm so sorry. About the targeting in 2016, her delivering Florida voter, oh, to Trump Tower. That was news from the staffer. Thank you. Sorry, Rip, I missed that. Yep. Not the unnamed person, the staffer that came in on in Pam's later was big news. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was big news. Alva, yeah. What a story. And the first one to leave, you know what I mean? Like the first one to be like, I'm out. And she was one of the women he accosted. I mean, I can't get my head around this. I just can't. Tim's friend, yeah. Rogue Operation Chili Cheese Dog Redux. I don't know if I can find a chili cheese. I don't know if I can find a chili cheese dog on this place. Cool. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't seem like the chili cheese dog kind of place. I'm just saying. Oh, there's Tintin. Oh wait, no, that's not Tintin. It's not Brian one. Yeah. Yeah, that was big. Yeah, that was a great space. I need to find Dr. Hassan's book. I can't find it. I mean, I should just order it online, but I was trying to find it in a bookstore. I was trying to do the bookstore thing. Well, hello, Jill Suburban. We're just shooting the shit while I wait for my car to be ready. And we thought we might see a former president get indicted. So, you know, the huge. The huge. Another indictment. Another day in paradise. You couldn't find it on your library. So. I have it on Audible. I can give you my login. Oh, you're so sweet, Gal. I love you. I love you. I'll figure it out. I should just get the Audible version of it. I used to use Scribd. I used to love that website, Scribd. That they have all kinds of books too. I think they're a little cheaper than Audible, but maybe they're not. They might not be cheaper than Audible. BRB Bio Break. That's funny. Yeah, I should really listen to that. I do have The Breach by Denver Riggleman, so I'm going to read that. I have that. I have the Mueller report. I want to read that. I haven't read part 2. I still haven't read the January 6th report all the way through. They're both sitting on my desktop. I can't sing too loud because I'm sitting in a restaurant. Yeah, I know. I'm actually feeling, I'm muting a lot of accounts today. I'm muting a lot of like convoy accounts because I can't have that in my life anymore. I really can't. I can't have those people in my life. I can't have any of that. It's just too much. It's too much drama. It's too much nonsense. It's too much wasted energy. It's too much grifting. It's too much. It's just too much. So I'm muting convoy. The convoy is over. It's over. It's over. Forward.
Everybody,
We have to
welcome
move
to
forward.
Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Welcome
I'm
to Right
Micah
Side
from the
Broadcasting.
studio in Auburn, Alabama. Just
Mike,
giving you guys a quick
poopy head.
update on where we are right now. Our correspondent is on the ground in D.C. making her way to the courthouse
Really?
as we speak.
Is it Liz
She
Willis?
was delayed thanks
I bet
to
it's Liz Willis.
the airlines, and I'm sure many of you
Convoys
have been
suck, Mike.
seeing that
100%.
happen with airline
Yes,
travel,
100%.
thanks to the Biden economics that we're facing right now. And that's why I want to talk about one of our good friends, our sponsors today. That's Birch Gold. We are days away from the Durban Accords, the greatest threat to the U.S. dollar's global dominance in the past 80 years. On August 22nd, BRICS nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Shut up. Talking about BRICS. I guess RSBN wants us to be part of BRICS. Brazil, what is it? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Stupid. Yeah, we need to pay attention to what's going on in certain African countries. Thank you. Have you checked out Burkina Faso lately? Wagner is really making money moves in Africa right now, and we should be on top of that. Thank you very much. It's like we never learn. It's like we never learn. We never learn how to just, like, help a country actually get into a democracy. You know what I mean? Like, help stabilize our neighbors, each other, right? Like, there should be some simpatico. I remember sitting in Haiti with a friend of mine who's Haitian, and he was telling me about the rice industry in Haiti and how it was undermined. That was one of their major exports to the United States, and we stopped buying it. I'm oversimplifying the story, but my understanding is that that trade was supplanted with trade from other countries in rice, and it really drove the country into poverty. So because I was there working on Restavec, which is child domestic servitude, child slavery. And we were trying to end Restavec in Haiti, working with local groups on the ground in Port-au-Prince and in Jacmel. I spent time in Jacmel, that's where I spent some time. But anyway, the point is that it would be helpful if we stabilized these countries and help them. You know, I don't think it's that controversial. I guess it is. I guess it's not lucrative. Anyway, God, I really look like a mess. I'm sorry, but you know, that's not the way it is. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, crazy days. Earlier in the year, I was seeing concerning talking point news when younger left-leaning folks around BRICS analysts via that the U.S. dollar was going to collapse. Seems like, yeah, it totally is. Yeah, Michael, that's exactly what it is. They're trying to undermine the dollar because all the bros, right? All the bros would like to go to crypto because it's less traceable and they can, you know, whatever, do whatever they want with it. So, yeah, they totally want to destabilize the dollar. It's libertarian crypto fucks. It's actually fucks, not folks. Libertarian crypto fucks. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. So Michael, I can see a widening gap between far left who want to burn it down. I guess they describe themselves as far left. I don't know, because I feel like I'm far left, but I don't want to burn it down. So maybe I'm not as far left as I thought I was, but it is concerning that I think it's a lack of historical context, right? Like it's a lack of historical context. I can't attribute it to anything other than that or willful ignorance. Because basically what you're doing is propping up all the kleptocrats, right? Like you're propping up all the Peter Thiels of the world. I guess it's a lack of knowledge. So disappointing. So disappointing. I thought we were getting smarter as a society. We're getting dumber. Yeah, playing into the hands of the Peter Thiels of the world. Good job, everybody. You want to not be able to afford quality healthcare? You want to not be able to afford a quality education? You want to not be able to afford security services? What? Or do you want security services to be militarized? Because that's what you're voting for. I don't know. It seems dumb. It seems really dumb. Anyway. Yeah. So here we are. So is he at the airport or what? I'm so confused. Because the airport's very far away. The airport's far away. I thought he was in the building. I guess he's not, because he's not going there until. Well, wait. Isn't the arraignment at 3? I'm so confused. I think they should go ahead and take a picture of him. Oh wait, I'm sorry. They're doing the talking part, and I'm not.
Gold. Text Trump to the number 989898 and claim your free info kit from Birch Gold. We have Brian Glenn, who is also with us today, the reporter for RSBN. Brian Glenn is with the Trump campaign, and he is telling us right now that President Trump should be landing any minute now, within 2 minutes. So we will be taking shots from his motorcade and also be on the ground there. Exclusive shots here on RSBN. So make sure you stay with us throughout the day as President Trump goes before a judge yet third time. First, we saw him in March with the Stormy Daniels case in New York. We know that was bogus, and then it was the boxes hoax in Mar-a-Lago. We know that was bogus, and here we are yet again. You know, we're not even to 2024 yet. We have a year and a half left to this election, and we're now in front of a third federal courthouse with bogus indictments against President Trump. If you look at what the Trump campaign is saying, we're going to go ahead and let you
and their vulnerability to disinformation around healthcare and vaccines.
Just after his indictment came down on Tuesday, the Trump campaign issued this statement saying, quote, "This is nothing more than the latest corrupt chapter in the continued pathetic attempt by the Biden crime family and their weaponized Department of Justice to interfere with the 2024 presidential election, in which President Trump is the undisputed front runner and leading by substantial margins. But why did they wait 2.5 years?"
And the failure of following leaders. When I worked at a certain organization, I knew that the organization had had a troubled past, right? And I knew that going in, and I had long conversations with the head of the organization and the board, and I knew I thought I knew all the demons in this organization, right? And my job was to go to the country where the program was happening and train the staff on financial handling and controls, just operations type of stuff. Well, that organization continued to get attacks from people, right, about their past history. And I stood up for the organization until I found out that one of the operations gentlemen, who is not a gentleman, was involved in past sexual misconduct with students. And so in finding that information out, We contacted the police. We locked him off of campus, etc., etc., etc. 6 weeks later, I was fired. And I was told by the head of the organization at the time that I let that person go, that I should not have made that decision without consulting. So before I could even quit, they fired me, made me sign an NDA, which is, I don't know if it's still in effect or not. So I know what it's like to be engaged with people who are kind of like bad, but you think they're good, right? And so you support and advocate for them. But then when you learn they're not good, then you have to make choices. And I didn't make the choice fast enough, which is fine, but I guess I understand to a degree, but when it gets to this point where you have so much information in front of you about what this person did, then I don't understand how you can turn a blind eye and continue to lie for that person. I just don't understand it. That's something I could never do. So I guess that's why I have such a problem with these people, is because I've been there and done that, and I was able to walk away, or at least realize that I was not in the right place and that I would have to make a decision. So I didn't teach, actually. I just ran I ran nonprofit organizations as a operations officer and as an executive director. So I know how my teaching credential. I did teach science one day because the teacher called out. So I am pretty proud of myself for teaching science one day. But yeah. Hey, hi James. Hi, how are you? How are you? He is not President Trump, yeah. That's good. Yeah, I know. I'm glad I'm on too. I'm waiting for my car to be fixed. So, but no, this was a school for girls in Africa, and then I ran a high school in Brooklyn, just as the executive director. So I didn't teach anything, but I was really into pedagogy. I was really into, like, I know. I guess it's national. Don't you feel like he's really late, huh? Don't you feel like it's going to be a hustle? Oh, it's a huggy. Look at the huggies. Wow. Huggy. Teacher of science. I was a teacher of science. We did a good job. I did a great job. I can't remember what it was, though. I can't remember what the lesson was that day. I can't remember. It was like earth science or something. It was like, hey Clay, how are you? We're just watching. My car's getting fixed, so I'm here in Santa Monica waiting for my car. And I look like crap. I need to take a shower. I haven't washed my hair in 3 days. I don't have any makeup on. But you know what? I don't care, because this is all about you. They're not trying to get me. They're trying to get you. I'm just standing in the way. I just haven't taken a shower in 3 days. They're not smelling you. They're smelling me, but they're trying to get me. I'm in a really ridiculous mood. I can't help it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Uh-oh. Is everybody, what? Get in the car. Get in the car. Get in the car. No showers for days. What happened? I think it's my normal life. I don't feel like I have to take showers. What do I have to take showers for? My cats, my dog. My dog doesn't care. What's happening? Not much today. We're waiting for people. Wait, we gotta listen to the RSBN household.
Need lots of coffee to get through this. And if you're tired of the same
girl,
old
you don't
liberal
even know.
flavored coffee brand, stop giving your money to woke companies that don't care about you. Go with a coffee company, an option that aligns with your conservative values. And my friends, that is Blackout Coffee. It's not enough to simply taste great. You want to be proud to support the company knowing they align with your conservative values. And that's why I'm telling you to give them a try. That's why I'm proud to personally recommend Blackout Coffee. This is a coffee company that is 100% committed to conservative values. From sourcing the beans to the roasting process, customer support, or shipping, they've got an incredible work ethic and are dedicated to promoting conservative principles and accept no compromise on taste or quality. So do me a favor. Check out blackoutcoffee.com/RSBN and use the coupon code RSBN for 20% off your first order. So ditch those other guys. Blackout Coffee remains true to our values. That's blackoutcoffee.com/RSBN, or you can also use the coupon code RSBN for 20% off your first order. And if you're on Rumble, thanks for watching us there. Go to Locals. Locals is where RSBN community is located, where you get access to content you won't find anywhere else. Simply click the join button on Rumble to get started, or go to rsbn.locals.com. Again, we are just now getting started out here today in Washington, D.C. Thank goodness it's a nice, cool day with an overcast. So we're going to probably see more people arrive as the president gets closer. We have a couple of people out here, some protesters, just a couple, and also some supporters as well. Very calm, tight security. We are seeing helicopters in the sky, snipers on the building, and also, of course, security all over the premises, all over the block, and blocks several blocks down from the courthouse as well. So President Trump, you know, if you follow him on Truth Social, he's been very vocal about these latest indictments coming against him from special counsel Jack Smith, who just won't give up. How does that man sleep at night with all of his lies? And I guess he stays up every night trying to find out new ways he can come up with allegations against the president. But the president saying this on Truth Social: the latest fake case brought by crooked Joe Biden and deranged Jack Smith will hopefully be moved to an impartial venue, such as the politically unbiased nearby state of West Virginia. So the president hoping that this case is moved out of Washington, D.C., which is about 95% Democrat, and going to an impartial state. He says it's impossible to get a fair trial in Washington, D.C., again, which is over 95% anti-Trump, and for which I have called for a federal takeover in order to bring our capital back to greatness. It is now a high crime embarrassment to our nation and indeed the world. This indictment is all about election interference. And of course it is. You have a man, the MAGA movement is unstoppable. He's unstoppable. And so what they're trying to do is stop him. We're going to, I'm going to come over just a little bit. If you can follow me over here, I have some people moving in on me. And so I'm just going to move over just a little bit to get some breathing room. But going back to election interference, President Trump is leading in the polls on the Republican side by 40%, by 50%, and whoever's in second is not even in a close second. They're way down in the single digits.
Trump force one, as we were moments away from the president to make his exit off the plane into the motorcade here.
Get her out.
We'll let this play out. I know the audio might be a little difficult. We are literally under Trump Force One, but continue to stay with us.
Pearl necklace, Trump too.
Good. Keep going. Good.
No, you stand there. 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 I wonder if he's wearing a blue suit
You're
and a red
watching
tie.
live coverage from DCA.
I bet you.
President Trump making his
Trump
arrival
Force
here at the
One.
airport
So stupid.
on his way to
I
the
can't wait
courthouse
till this
here
guy has a fucking
momentarily
aneurysm
for
in the
a
courtroom.
PM
That's what's gonna
arraignment
happen.
in court on the third indictment
Unpredictable.
charge. 4 new counts in this indictment. Vanessa Broussard and myself will be covering this
What is
throughout the
Tintin?
day.
Vanessa
She's live,
Broussard.
posted up in front
That's
of the
what her name
courthouse.
is.
And of course, we're here on the ground with the motorcade.
I hope
And as soon
when
as
he
the
gets to
president makes his
DC,
departure off the
they...
plane and gets in, we're going to follow him to the courthouse where we'll have a
This
few
could be
minutes
it.
with one of his attorneys, I've been told. Hopefully,
This could be it.
get some
The big
questions,
one.
maybe find out what's going on as far as the court proceedings go. And then hopefully we'll have a few minutes with the president either here, or he might walk up and talk to us. We don't know at this point if that will happen. Or perhaps we'll have a few minutes with him
That's a good one, Ryan.
at the courthouse or when he comes back here. So we're going to keep updated on how it unfolds here. A lot of these types of events are very unscripted. We don't get a whole lot of guidance on
He turns around
what's
and
going
has
to
a
happen. You get
tattoo
kind
of
of a
Roger
rough
Stone.
outline, but at the end of the day, it's whatever the president feels like he wants to do. And so if he wants to deliver a few more remarks
They have
as soon as he gets off the plane,
superseding
then
indictment
he
that
might
comes
do
with a
that. Until
pre-trial
then,
detention.
we'll stand here as we provide exclusive coverage from the ground here at DCA.
Oh, Right Side Broadcasting Network. They're actually a Trump network. They literally were created by Joe Seal in 2015 to be a Trump-only network. It's true. And I've been watching them since that time. Actually, Ryan Glenn, who's talking now, he hates him. He actually literally hates Lolo. Like, he hates Lolo.
It wouldn't be possible if we didn't have great broadcast sponsors like we have today. We just
Actually,
want to
I
thank
have a
all
tweet
of
of
them.
him
And of
saying that
course,
he loved
we want to
me.
thank you. Here's a look
He says, you know I
at
love you,
President
Lolo.
Trump
So
making his way
I have a
off
picture.
of
Liz Willis
Trump
is the
Force One.
worst.
Let's
Hi,
listen and
Matt.
see if we get a question.
Yeah, Liz Willis is the absolute worst. Yep, propaganda and QVC. Exactly. Oh, okay, so it's a black suit, I think. Oh, there goes the wig. Oh, he's got a bald spot right there. Like, I have bald spots too, so, you know, no complaints, but... Ooh, bad comb over.
President Trump not taking any
Where's
questions.
where's
Now
Nauda?
we will
Is Nauda here?
transition
Liz is the worst.
into back into the motorcade here.
Who's with him? Where's Melania? Is that Melania?
Trump just now landing in the Washington,
It looks
D.C.
Navy, yeah.
area
Thank you.
to go in front of a judge here outside
Where's
of the federal
Vanessa?
courthouse.
Vanessa
We're on the corner of
Broussard.
Pennsylvania Avenue and
I
Congress,
think
and I can see
Vanessa
the
and
Capitol
Tintin are
building
kind of
right
close,
behind me,
so I
just a
think
couple
Marjorie
of
Taylor
blocks
Greene
away,
should
to give
worry
you an
about this
idea of
stuff.
where we are
I think
located. People are starting to
this bitch is
converge
done.
here on the block where the courthouse is located. You can see security is tight, and we have helicopters, snipers, and of course security on the ground. So far so good here when it comes to security, and everything is very calm. But on the inside, we're not happy. This is enough from the corrupt Biden family and their attempt to take over and interfere with the 2024 election. It's very clear. Bogus accusations against the president since he came down those golden escalators announcing his presidency for 2016. They have been nonstop. So here we are in August 2023. We've got to get to November 2024. So buckle up, America. We have a ride ahead of us, and this is just the beginning, I'm told, of the left's attempt to bring down their top competitor. And if you know President Trump, if you see President Trump, if you love President Trump and follow him, you know that he's not going to back down. He has said it multiple times. I will not back down. They're not after me. They're after you, the American people. He's just standing in the way.
Oh,
And
I'm
so if
sorry.
he is not backing down, we can't either. And, you know, I have to be honest with you. When I see these accusations come
She's
down,
going to
I
be
get
sad.
down. I'm like, oh no, not another one. And then I go straight to Truth Social or Instagram and I see
Oh, she's
him
terrible for me.
post a video
She's
talking
dumb
about,
shit. They're
I'm
all
not
dumb
giving
shit.
up. We're going to keep fighting. And that pumps me up. And that's what you should do too. I know times are tough right now. The economy is bad. Many of you are older and on Social Security and trying to make it paycheck to
Tablet for
paycheck.
baby.
Many of you are working multiple jobs just to go to the grocery store and feed your family. That's the Biden administration, and that's what they want for another 4 years. It wasn't like that under a Trump
Oh, she's in
administration.
Europe.
America came first, Americans came first, and for whatever reason,
They
the
didn't.
Democrats put America last. It is
No,
clear
they
as
don't.
day,
No,
and I'm
you
out here
don't
today
know
because
actually,
it is
but
proof that they
CHIPS
are
Act,
trying to bring down
infrastructure,
America and the
Build
man
Back
who
Better.
wants to save
I
this
know.
country. He is the front runner on the GOP side for the
$35
primaries, and they
insulin for
know he's
Medicare
unstoppable. They
patients.
know the
Yeah,
American people love him.
usual
They know
stuff.
he'll win yet a third
Not for the
election.
American
And
people,
again, that's why we're out here today.
but
It is perfectly normal and it is not illegal. It is legal to question the outcome of an election.
That's
People
not
do
what
it at
he's
the
being.
local level.
That's not what
People
he's
do it at
being
the state
arrested
level.
on. That's
People
not
do
what
it
he's
at
being
the
arrested on.
national level. Everyone can do it. If you're at a local
I'm so sorry.
election and say your candidate loses by
Stop.
50 votes, they have a recount. They question, they look into it, they make sure everything is correct, that the votes were counted properly. Everybody can do that from the local level, state level, national level, I guess, except
I think
President
those are
Trump.
stickers,
So it
right?
is not illegal. It's perfectly legal. And I've
I
been
think they're
seeing some
stickers.
videos over the past couple of days since Tuesday when these
Oh, here we
indictments
go.
came down
I'm going to start a
of
poll.
Hillary Clinton questioning
Wait.
the 2016 campaign.
Will
Why wasn't she
you
indicted?
think
So those are questions we have
shit
to ask.
is
Why
nice?
President Trump? But we know why. They're trying to keep him
Report
off
where?
the ballot. So again, if you look at the indictment, I read it several times. It's one of those things, and I can honestly say, in my opinion, that if it was printed out, I would do like
Okay, here
Nancy
we go.
Pelosi did in the State of the Union
There we go. Here's
and
a
just rip
poll.
it up because it's almost laughable.
Here's a
They're
poll.
claiming that Trump tried
that's
to
fine.
overturn the
Okay,
2020
whoops. I don't want to
election,
do that.
and they're claiming he
Okay.
lied about the
There we
outcome
go. There's a
of the
poll for
election.
everybody.
New details from then Vice President Mike Pence claiming that Trump tried
Here's
to
a
convince
poll.
him to delay or reject the election results.
Law degree from Yale
That's from
University.
Mike Pence, who is also
Hi,
running for
Christine. How
president.
does
So
anyone
here
think
is
of
a
all
man
the
who's running
services
against
of
President
phone
Trump,
after me?
trying to gain his way in the polls so he too can be the
Well,
Republican
apparently you must
nominee.
have
And
tried
so it's very
to
clear what
government,
Mike Pence is
Christine.
doing.
That's
He
why
is
they're going
trying
to come for
to
you.
push his way up. And I think
Shit on the
that the
plane.
American people can see that. And instead, it's done just the opposite. He can hang up his career. So a lot going on. And we will stay out here with you all day. President Trump on his way. He has landed in Washington, D.C. His motorcade is on the way to the federal courthouse. And we will be right back shortly. We're going to toss to this commercial break. Stay with Right Side Broadcasting
Oh, yeah,
Network.
no, we're not doing
What's
the
up, guys?
commercial
My
break.
name is Jaden Hurd, and you're watching
Oh, this
Right
is
Side
terrible.
Broadcasting.
It's like, I'm going to look at things through the lens of God. Well, God's not real, so I don't know what lens you're going to look through, dude, because God is not real, and you're an idiot, and you're advocating for people who want to strip rights away from people. So, yeah, your governor is probably, Christine, I'm going to be honest with you. He's not a good man. Just going to let you know that right now. He's pretty bad. He didn't want to go to D.C. today. He was ordered. Yeah, exactly. He shit on the plane. Yeah, I love it. I love all these people. There's Tintin. All these people who vote against their interests. It's just amazing. I'll be honest, he is out of control. Now, Christine, he's been out of control, sweetie. I'm gonna be. Oh, sorry. I should have put that as the fourth option. That he is continuing to shit as he gets into the beast. It's probably true. Probably true. Yeah, we'll have to add that. I know that sometimes the polls are annoying. They're like, you know, And here we are, and here we are. This is I guess, okay, so here's an interesting thing. I was actually having a hard time believing that this is a cult, right? I kind of had a hard time believing that, but now I don't have a hard time believing that. I don't have a hard time anymore. Because I think that it is definitely like a willful suspension of any facts. Any facts. Yeah, he is getting worse. Well, he's going to prison for the rest of his life, Christine. And if it's not prison, it's something akin to prison. And that's going to be hard for him. I don't think it's going to be at one of his golf resorts. I don't think that's where they're going to keep him. Because the deprogrammers have brainwashed him. Yeah, so I think that, yeah, that's what I think. On a Lolo live. Hey, Charlie, what are you doing? Plain shitter theory. We're just doing a poll on the level of shitting that's happening right now of pants. And, so we're just making fun of Republicans. That's all. Pretty straightforward. Not a big deal. Not me. Blackout coffee. Our coffee tastes like shit. I'm going to be real honest with you. Morning Reaper means you're going to, brutal awakening is how it rips through your butt. And then we have these coins, and I don't understand what they're for, but whatever. I just hate this coffee. I think this coffee sucks. I peed on these beans. Oh, yeah, and this is about the soldiers. Yeah, right? I would rather have Charlie, I love you. I love you, Charlie. Tell it like it is, Charlie. Oops, wait, let me get this.
Constitution and Pennsylvania Avenue, not far, just blocks away from the Capitol building. We're starting to see
they have to
people
put 2A on everything
converge
because it's
here
the only
on
one
this
they know.
block
That's
as
the
they
only
await
amendment
President
they
Trump.
know.
He has landed, and his
Trade them
motorcade
from Alex
is
Jones.
en route to the courthouse. Our Brian Glenn is in that motorcade, and we'll be going back and forth
It's
with
actually
him
just helps.
as they
They're
arrive
actually
here at the
designing
courthouse. We're
dinosaurs in
thinking,
that
we are not sure, that he
laboratory,
may be coming up this
same
back
shit,
street
different day,
behind
yeah.
us when he arrives and
100%.
going through a back door of the courthouse. If my
100%.
photographer wants to pan over there, that's where he may go. Not 100% certain, but security has the road here at Constitution and Pennsylvania Avenue blocked off. So no through traffic, no people can walk through, and they're keeping people back because this may be a route that the president takes. Again, he won't come up this street. If he does, he will take a right and go to the back of the courthouse. So we are awaiting. It should be here. He should be here any minute. But again, our Brian Glenn is in the motorcade with the president as he comes to the courthouse. What a bogus accusation, right? If you've read the entire indictment, you would have to agree. And if you haven't, I encourage you to do so. They're basically saying Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election and claiming also that he lied about the outcome of the election. He firmly believes that this 2020 election was stolen from him, and we are going to have to back up. Security is making us move back. So bear with us as we're having to move back due to security reasons.
There's a motorcade shot.
Again, security is tight here, and you're going to hear me speaking now, but you won't see me because we are being barricaded off, and it's a tight squeeze as dozens and dozens of people await the president. So going back to these accusations in this indictment, I read the entire indictment, and
what's up with that?
I was sitting in my chair and almost laughed, but not laugh in a good way. Laugh at the craziness that AG Merrick Garland and Jack Smith, the special counsel, are accusing the president of. And also the Biden family is behind this. Have you noticed that every time the Biden family, Hunter, the president, Joe Biden, every time they're accused of something, another accusation comes out against President Trump. It's all to cover up what they're doing.
I'm sorry.
You know, have we heard lately what's going on with the cocaine in the White House? No, that's forgotten about. We'll never know who brought the cocaine in the White House from the news, but I think you and I sitting at home, you probably are 99% sure it came from Hunter. We don't know that for a fact, but who did it come from? We never know. We'll never know because they cover it up. They cover it for one day and then they move on. Oh, let's talk about aliens now, or let's talk about President Trump, or let's make up accusations against President Trump.
There's no journalism.
We had one of Hunter Biden's former friends, close friends, testify before closed doors to Congress just this week about some illegal dealings that Hunter and his father had. What happens the next day? President Trump is indicted on 4 counts of bogus accusations. So it's all a witch hunt. They're moving us back again. It's all a witch hunt, and it's all to keep the president off the ballot. But he doesn't stop for us, and we're not stopping for him. Because trust me, there are many other things that I could be doing today, but yet I'm standing in front of a federal courthouse yet again for more accusations against President Trump. We're seeing police officers come. That looks like his motorcade probably pulling in right now. That is his motorcade coming through the back of the courthouse. And again, our Brian Glenn is there with them. So the president has arrived to the federal courthouse to face a judge for 4 counts and a bogus indictment. Another 4 charges against the president for doing nothing wrong. Here's a man who loves his country, who wants to save this country, and they are slapping him on the wrist because he wants to put America and Americans first. So God bless him. God bless you. We will stick with you through this all. We will stand behind the president, and we will be here through 2024. So again, we're just taking a look in as the president arrives. And again, Brian Glenn is in the motorcade. Again, we have dozens of people here trying to get a glimpse of the president, very calm outside of the courthouse. I would say a mixture of supporters, probably more supporters than protesters from what I can tell. Very surprising. I didn't know what I was walking into in Washington, D.C. with President Trump arriving, being a Democrat-run city. High crime rates. You know, they want to defund the police, but the police are out here doing what they do to serve and protect. They're protecting us, they're protecting the president, and we thank them all for a job well done day in and day out, but they won't get that thank you from the left. But we appreciate the job of all the security officers who are out here today. But again, it's calm, very quiet. We have someone on a speaker right across the street from us praising President Trump, singing and playing patriotic music. So it's actually really good to see here in Washington. Now, when you look at other news networks, they may show you the 1 or 2 or 3 protesters that were here and make it seem like everybody was here protesting against the president, but that is not the case at all. I see more people here in support of the president.
Yeah, because we only injured 150 Capitol police officers and with multiple suicides. Yep. Way to go, MAGA. Way to go, Republicans. Because the Republicans could stand up today and denounce him.
I want to, while we wait on the president to walk into the courthouse, I want to bring your attention to State Rep Marjorie Taylor Greene and what she said on Twitter just this morning. She said there are a record number of homeless Americans. 300 Americans die of fentanyl daily. 63 million are killed in abortions. They tell men, when she says they, she means the Democrats, tell men they can get pregnant and brainwash children to to change their gender and amputate their growing parts. Our border is out of control, and our government refuses to secure it.
Hey, Vaughn, if
Senior
you're watching,
citizens
you're
can't
fucking
survive
jerk.
on
How about
Social
that?
Security. Inflation is
Since you
crippling
mentioned me
everyone.
yesterday, I'm going to
But
mention you.
they, again, she's mentioning
You're
and
a
referring
jerk.
to Democrats,
You're a
they
fucking
are
hateful
telling you
jerk.
the most important thing
Nobody
they are
likes
doing
you.
is indicting
Your life
President
looks
Trump
stupid.
for
And your
January
house is
6,
disgusting.
2021. And she's absolutely right. We have so many problems in America
I'm
right
such a
now,
bitch.
whether
Oh,
it
my
is
sound?
our
Oh,
border, millions coming through
sorry, Siegfried. I
illegally,
don't know if I
bringing in the
can, but I think
fentanyl,
I
like
can.
Marjorie Taylor Greene said, 300
I'm
Americans
also trying
die
to be a little
every
quiet
day
because she
of
might be yelling.
fentanyl, abortions, brainwashing our children in schools and at school libraries. These Democrat-run cities are just full of violence,
Democrat
and
run
they
cities are
want
fine.
to indict
Okay, they're
President
just
Trump.
fine.
Wake up, America.
Nothing's wrong.
Their priorities are not straight, and they're
Cool
trying to
down.
ruin this country. Again, as we wait,
Oh, I see.
we want to talk about, speaking of the
Is
economy,
that
if
a
you're
little
worried about
better?
your money and your IRAs and
Hey,
401ks, try
reduce my background
investing some of
noise.
your money into Birch Gold. Give it a try. You
All
know,
right, let's see if that
I
works.
text the word
Birch
Trump
gold
to
is stupid. Don't do
989898.
it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a scam. Your sound, no problem. Just thought it totally. No, it won't until we see him in that orange suit. Any chance you get in? No. Okay, hope you're fun of the rest. That Democrat city, no, noted on docket as the United States of America. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's a good one. That's a good one. I know the nasal woman. I'm gonna turn your they a big buy gold LMAO. They keeps want you to buy gold are the ones that have been holding it since 2020. And yeah, that's it. It's just a way to destabilize currency. That's all they want to do is make people poor, frankly. That's actually what they want to do, in case you didn't know. Nasal woman is now her official name. I agree. Hey, Nasal. Hey, Nasal girl.
989898
I'm
from
gonna turn her
Birch
down a little
Gold.
bit.
Also want to encourage you
And fleece their
to
followers. Yep. I'm claiming to be an actual dog. I'm
on there, you
claiming to
will
be an
see what's
actual
called
dog.
Agenda 47. And Agenda 47 lays out his plans
Oh, Agenda
for when he
47.
wins office in 2024. It's a long list, and a lot of it is
Really?
continuing, I should say,
Does
continuing
it?
with what he started in his first presidency. He wants to make America energy independent again. He wants to
We
restore
wasn't. We
law
weren't
and
energy
order. We talked about
independent.
that just a
We were
moment ago.
never energy
These
independent.
Democrat-run cities want to
We
defund
were
the
never.
police.
That's
We
a
want
lie.
to fund the police. We want to better train the police so they know how to
Mm.
handle situations, so they can face anything in a blink of an eye second when they have to make these split decisions. And that's what we're seeing out here today.
Silver
As you
is
see,
worse.
hundreds and
All
hundreds
the
of law enforcement officers
all-time
out here,
high was
Secret
back in
Service, security
1980.
guards. We appreciate all of them.
Still
The
taking that
Republicans
now.
want
They
to
sure
fund them.
are.
The Democrats want to
That's right, Charlie.
defund them.
Somehow I
And again,
doubt he
Agenda
will do any
47
of that.
wants to
Yeah,
restore
somehow I
law
doubt
and
it
order. The
too.
president also says he wants to prevent World War III. You know, we're on the brink of World War III.
That's part of his
The
policies.
president
He wants to
asked just
prevent
weeks
World War
ago,
III.
who does he want to win the war? He says
We
he
want to
doesn't want
fund the police
anybody,
while we call
either
for
country, to win a war. He wants the war
defunding.
to end. So
Right.
he doesn't want a war. He does not want lives lost. He
We
wants
want
to
to fund their
prevent World
sheriffs.
War III. Another part of Agenda 47 is fixing and improving the economy. That's your gas that you're having
How?
to put in your car every day.
How do we do
Going up
that?
again.
How's he
When
going
you
to
go to
do
the
that?
gas station this week,
How?
you'll see.
Tell
Pay
me how.
attention. Gas
Tell me
prices
how.
are
Tell me how.
going back
Tell me how he
home.
can do
He
that.
wants to make sure that you
Tell me
can
how.
go to work and
I
support
want
your
to know.
family and not have to work 2 and 3 jobs. So
I
you
would
can
like
be
to
at home
know.
with your family in
Oh,
the
that's
evening.
really
He
cool.
wants to fix
I
and
need to cut
improve
my
the
hair.
economy.
Max,
He wants to
he's
take
still
care
not
of
called me.
veterans, including our
I
homeless
gotta
veterans.
go.
Our
I gotta
veterans
find
are
him.
not being taken care of. President Trump
That seems
loves our
terrible.
veterans. He appreciates our veterans and he thanks our veterans. So he wants to take care of our veterans. Also, Agenda 47,
I guess
President
washing it
Trump
would
talks
probably
about this a
help.
lot in his
And also
speeches,
capital security,
protecting
yeah.
what children
I want to
learn in
find
schools
defense
and
units
libraries.
on policing
How
reform, yeah.
sad is it that we even have to talk about this today? That
Well, maybe the
instead of our
defense
children
spending
learning
could come
math,
down a bit.
science,
I don't know. I'm
history,
thinking. You're probably
they're
right.
learning gender, affirmation, who's a boy, who's a girl, who wants to be a
No,
boy,
they're
who
not
wants to
learning
be a
that.
girl,
They're
why
not
you should
learning it.
change, why you
That's
shouldn't
not how they're.
change.
No, that's not
If
what they're
you are a
learning.
boy and can go to school
That's
with
a
painted
lie.
nails and a ponytail, if you
That's a
are a
lie.
boy and can
That's a
mutilate your
lie.
private parts, these
That's
are
a
young
lie.
children. They're innocent, and we need
That's
to
a lie.
protect our children's
That's a lie.
innocence. So
Yeah, she's
the
a fear
president
mongering
wants to
down.
protect what children learn in schools and
Yeah, get it
libraries. So
out of
that's just a
AI.
little
Get
bit of Agenda
Palantir out of our
47.
defense.
Again, you can go to donaldjtrump.com to read more. And you can also go there and
AI
donate to
takes
his
into
campaign
account.
and also help him fight
Yeah.
the liberal left, Marxist, communist, Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, and also the crime
Need another
Biden
cup of
family. You know, I think back
They're not a
to
crime family.
this indictment when they say that he lied about knowing the
The Trumps
outcome
are a
of
crime
the
family.
election. Well,
They're a
what
crime
about
family. 100%.
Bill Clinton when he lied live on air to the American people about having sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky? It later came out that he
I'm gonna
did.
leave this
He
here. I'm gonna leave you
lied to
guys
the
here. Come
American
on.
people that this happened
I want to
in
get
the
another
Oval
coffee.
Office.
I'll be right back.
I don't see an indictment on him. Never saw one. So I am calling on Special Counsel Jack Smith to look into that. And I'm hoping to see an indictment come down on that here any day now, because that's just one case. Also, another case, speaking of the Clintons, is when Hillary questioned the 2016 election results. There's video proof that she questioned the election results, thinking that they were rigged. So it's almost that everyone can question things in local elections, state elections, national elections, but President Trump is not allowed. You can hear right now, maybe you can hear it. The national anthem is being sung by a patriot here in support of President Trump. So good to see. So just to give you an idea of what we are seeing and doing right now, security backed us up, and we are really shoulder to shoulder with other people trying to get a glimpse of President Trump. We are unable to move. It's a tight squeeze here. If we can turn, yes, some people are starting to leave now that President Trump has arrived. They were just here trying to get a glimpse of the president. So we're trying to see what our options are right now. But I can tell you that there are dozens of people around us. We're in a tight squeeze right now. Lots of media, lots of supporters. And we have supporters across the street saying free J6. And what they're talking about are the people who are there at January 6th who are still locked up in this Democrat run city from January 6, 2021. They are not being let out of jail. And so we have people here in support of Trump and the January 6th situation chanting in the background, free Jan 6. So what we're expecting inside of the courthouse is President Trump will go in front of a judge. They will read the charges against him, and he will then plead not guilty, and that's it, and then leave. And so it's a short proceeding. It won't take long. but by the time they do the bookings, when he walks in and goes before the judge, that may take a little longer. But the actual court proceeding does not take but a couple of minutes. They will read the charges against him, where he'll enter a plea.
Y'all ready?
Okay, and so now as we wait from the outside, we're going to toss it to Brian Glenn, who is on the inside. Brian.
It is tossed.
I almost want to go over there.
A live look right behind the courthouse here. As you saw, we made our way from DCA over to the courthouse. This is on the back side of it, and you've been watching Vanessa Broussard. She is on the front of the courthouse. We're back in the secure area. We are waiting for a quick interview, perhaps with an attorney, about the proceedings that are going on inside, to give us an idea exactly what the feeling is right now, maybe what the mood for President Trump is at this point. You're getting a look at some of the security now. If you're in the area and you're familiar with the DC area, it's very difficult off of Constitution and Pennsylvania Avenue in this area. As you can imagine, the security has been tight. There are some barriers set up. If you want to, let's swing around and look back this other way real quickly. That is obviously a few supporters, as you can see, that are gathered on this side street. That is the Canadian embassy that's in the building, as you see on the left of the flag. Now, there are some protesters. I can hear someone with a bullhorn. I'm very familiar with this girl's voice right now. It's saying she's always here. A lot of the protesters that you see here are at just about every other protest, Trump appearance in DC. They certainly show up for that. But you're getting a live look at some of the sights and sounds outside the courthouse. We are probably about 5 minutes away or so before you can hear some remarks on this very historic day here at our nation's capital. This is the third indictment for the former president. This one seems to have a little bit more teeth. Now, the first two primarily for documents and the handling of secret documents, classified documents that were. This is more angled towards January 6th, and that he tried to lead some type of insurrection due to the outcome of the 2020 election. And he has, to a certain degree, we've all seen the video. We've seen the January 6 hearings.
Oh.
We've seen the January 6 hearings of that the House had in regards to the January 6 Commission and how it played out in front of the country for a number of days, trying to make the case that the president was responsible for the insurrection on January 6th. So the previous two indictments have to do with classified documents, but this one's particularly with a seditious conspiracy for January 6th, claiming that he did have some type of role in the January 6th insurrection. So, obviously the case is going to be made that, he was told by advisors the outcome of what was going on in the election. He was just really putting out the message based upon what he heard and what he saw. So not necessarily claiming that he was told that he had, lost and that the outcome was unquestionably a fact. And we can, as the states had certain Senate hearings and congressional hearings with the election and finding out some of the discrepancies in it. We saw how that unfolded.
Oh, really? Okay.
Behind me, there's a security that we came in from that direction.
Is that better?
We are waiting
Is that better?
Helena Habab to come in here and talk to us
Sitting
again
on the same
about
line.
kind of what the president is feeling at this point. Of course, I often said
I know. That
I
was a
have
good
often said I don't understand, and I
Oh,
said this
good.
when I
Good,
was
good,
in
good. Okay.
Pennsylvania the other
Thank
night. I don't see how the president stays so
I'm
optimistic
sleeping in the same
in
way.
terms of what's going on right now.
That's a
Now,
good one.
I'm going to try to get a question in here, and I'm going to tell you
Fucking hate
pretty much what it
crime
is, that this is a witch hunt,
Here's
and
another
to
one.
what
You can arrest
examples
me for
can they
something.
claim that
That
this
is
is a witch hunt? Now, this is coming off of, a couple of days that, Devin Archer came in,
I'm certain
and if we're hearing with Devin Archer, plus this is coming off a historically high polling for the former
he's fucking
president
Marjorie
versus
Taylor
anybody
Greene.
else
Can
in
you
the
fucking
field. So he's
believe
got
that
this
right now?
massive lead right now
Jesus
in this
Christ.
race, and that
Talk
this is
about
simply
lack of
nothing
taste.
more than a political witch hunt to take away a political opponent. Because if the primary was held today, he is the presumptive nominee from the Republican Party by far. Not even anyone
Everybody calm
close
down.
could combine with some of the polling. And of course, certain polls have the president head to head way over Biden going head to head. So this is the timing of this can really go
I
back.
probably don't usually bring it,
and,
but I had to bring my
playing the
computer
part
today
of the
because I wanted
polling
to be able to
and the
do
Devin
this. Hi,
Archer
Max.
testimony in
Aren't
terms
most
of
all of the witnesses against
the
Trump
business dealings with
Republicans?
Hunter
Yeah.
Biden. Now, if he would have put a shoe on the
Yeah.
other foot right now, if
Yeah.
I was to tell you that, Donald Trump
Yeah.
Jr., Don Jr. was, met with,
Yeah.
Ukrainian oligarchs
Yeah.
and had money and
He
had
did.
LLCs and
Actually,
wired
he
into
did. He
several
did.
other
Actually,
Trump
he
family
did.
members.
Yeah.
Trump, you
He
would
did.
actually. Okay. We'll get started here in a second. Stand by as
Political,
we-
political.
Go ahead and get started.
Okay. Jason Miller's addressing us right now.
Oh my God. Jason Miller, the
Alina
smoothie
Haba
king.
coming up for a couple of
Oh my
questions
God,
here.
look at this.
How you doing?
Hi, how are you all?
Good. Good.
Alina.
The fact that I am standing here for the third time in 5 months is not a coincidence. This is the
No, it's
Biden
not.
political
This is crime.
lawfare that we have seen time and time again. It is a
She has the
deflection
largest tits.
from everything that they have done.
Her tits
And if
are
you don't
huge.
believe
I'm
me, look
sorry.
at the
That's all I
facts.
can look at right now.
On March 17th, Hunter
I can't
accidentally
look
admits
away.
that it was his laptop from hell. The next day, DA Alvin
I do
Bragg
like her hair color too.
indicts President Trump.
So I have nice things to say about
June
people.
8th, an FBI document is released showing that the Ukrainians paid the Biden crime family
No,
millions
baby.
and millions of
No,
dollars.
baby. No.
The next day,
Yeah.
the
Just let that
Mar-a-Lago
go.
raid
Which
and the Mar-a-Lago indictment.
That's a good one
Last
too.
week,
God, oh, you
Hunter
are on
Biden's
fire
sweetheart
today.
plea deal fell through when the judge realized it had blanket immunity. The following day,
Doesn't
a
have blanket
superseding
immunity.
indictment against Donald Trump. July 31st, Devin Archer goes to testify in front of the House. That was only
That's
after
right.
they failed to put him in jail.
I know,
prior to
right?
that. What happens the next day?
Republican
The
women have
January
this
6th
one
indictment that
dress
we're here for
maker,
today.
and they take one
This is not a
panel of fabric
coincidence.
and just like
This is election
they
interference
lay
at its
down
finest
on the fabric
against
and
the
like cut
leading
around
candidate
them. Whatever. Put the
right
dress
now
on.
for president, for either party. President Trump is under siege in a way that we have never seen before.
She was, right?
President Trump,
She
his
has
legal
been.
team, and everyone on his team will continue to fight, not for him, but for the American people.
I wonder if
I'll
he
take some
tried
questions.
any moves on her.
Thank you. I know the president has called this a witch hunt. You just laid out several examples of that. Any other thoughts that the president has communicated to you in terms of why this is going on and why he calls it a witch hunt?
I think a witch hunt is really the way that anybody should describe this because it's not something we've seen in our time. This
Because
is
the
not
president
even
hasn't committed
political.
those
This
crimes.
is beyond that. A witch hunt is when
I'm
you
Margaret.
relentlessly attack your opponent, when you relentlessly
Free.
attack the thing that you are
They're
most
so true.
afraid of. People are afraid of somebody
Birding
that cannot be
food.
bought by Washington.
Right,
People are afraid of somebody who is independently wealthy and who has given up his good
It's a movie
life
dress.
to fight for this country. And that frightens a lot of politicians who are career
Oh,
politicians,
really? He's
unfortunately,
giving up his
because he'll
life?
get back there, and I know he'll be fighting for every one of us so that this doesn't happen to us.
It's crazy.
The difference is what he did to try and switch the votes.
So what is it that he did to try and switch the votes that you refer to? By bringing cases, by using the law in an appropriate manner, unlike what we're sitting here today seeing, this is not appropriate. What President Trump did is he said, go patriotically
and peacefully and protest. That is an American right. That is why we are America and we are not a third world country. Although I will say that today, I don't feel very much like we are in America. Yes.
Case you go forward before or after the 2024 presidential election?
I think that every court needs to look at this as a whole, right? It's not about the January
Oh,
6th
she's
case.
very upset
It's
about
about the
that.
fact that in the
Absolutely
matter of a
flipping up
couple
right now
months,
too.
we have seen them try and tie
She's
up,
not
and me as
happy.
an attorney, I've never seen this, tie up one individual who's a campaign, who's running a campaign in a campaign, running for office for president, so that he is in court, in depositions, and distracted, so that he won't properly run
Because
for
he
2024. And
crimed,
frankly, it's not
and
going to
then
work.
now he's facing
You argue that the election was stolen?
the consequences
I don't think that that's
of
the
his
argument that
actions.
needs to be made.
Different.
I think
It's a
that
different
anybody
story.
that believes that is misreading this. The truth is, as an American, there were questions that he had regarding the election integrity. We've seen documents come out, we've seen documentaries come out showing that there were issues with the election. And frankly, bringing this, I don't think Jack Smith really thought it through. There only has to be proof that, number one, President Trump believed that this election was not completely honest. And number two,
No,
Jack
he
Smith has
didn't.
opened himself up to a can of worms that we can now look at and really examine.
Really?
This is all a setup.
How do you
Why not
figure
bring it
that?
to trial as soon as
How do you
possible
figure that?
before the election so that you can clear his
Looks
name?
like a pickled
I would
egg.
love to do that, but there's something called discovery. And when somebody wants to say that the 2020 election was perfect and that President Trump has no right to object to it, we've got to go show him all the facts. And there's a lot of facts to show. So everybody has their time. And to say that Donald Trump should then be rushed and not be given the same fair proceeding that anybody else is just, frankly, un-American. It's not fair. It's not the way our system works.
Yeah, he did. He chose to run
helped
after
him
Frank.
try to overturn the election are unnamed co-conspirators in the indictment. Jenna Ellis isn't. Why do you think that is?
I'm not going to speak to co-conspirators or anybody else. I represent President Trump.
It's easy answer.
There's testimony and there's a number of aides that have said that the president was made
so
aware that he lost the election and yet continued to argue that it was stolen from him. How do you reconcile those two things?
Well, I think that everybody was made aware
that
that
my
he lost
hair?
the election, but that doesn't mean that that was the only advice he was given. As anybody understands what happens in the Oval Office, there are a numerous amount of advisors and politicians and lawyers, not just one or two, that are giving you advice and telling you what they believe.
Because you don't come through the
He
hair
may
and
not
makeup.
agree with Mike Pence. He may not agree with one of his lawyers, but that doesn't mean that there weren't other people advising him exactly the opposite. And the president has a right, as every one of us do, to listen to several opinions and make their decision.
I remember hearing Hillary Clinton and Stacey Abrams argue their.
She's not really a real lawyer.
Right. I mean,
She's
how
actually
can the
been sanctioned
weaponization of
already
the
$1 million
didn't
for
happen
bringing a
then?
frivolous
No, of course not.
lawsuit.
But if your last name's Trump, it's very different. So Hillary Clinton could have a problem when she lost the election, and we could have a complete liberal meltdown, as we all saw. But when we have dignified disagreements, we take them to court. We say do things patriotically and peacefully. He's to blame for things that he did not himself do. And that's what we're seeing. Frankly, folks, this is not about that. This is about politics. This is about 2024. Period. The end.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're at the end.
Thank you.
You're at the
So
end.
we were live
You're at the end.
at the courthouse a few
What
minutes
about Jason
ago,
Miller?
Bob,
What's your smoothie boy?
addressing the reason why we're here and some of the
Slipped a
speculation of
the morning after pill
why,
in a woman's
Jack Smith
smoothie
and others
to cause an
bringing
abortion.
this case here. Good look down there as far as the supporters are
Just so you
gathered.
know.
And I would imagine based upon
Jason's
the
a real special,
people, some of the
special,
signs I can see here, flags that there are
special piece of shit.
a good amount of supporters here, obviously a good amount of opposition. This is DC. I mean, this is one of those environments that is
Looks like
pretty
DC rats to
toxic
me.
towards the president. We've been
I don't know if she was a Florida real estate lawyer, Max, or if she was in New York. Why do I think she was in New
Vanessa
York?
Broussard
I could be
is
wrong.
on the other side of the
A
courthouse,
dignified insurrection.
bringing you
What a
the sights
fucking-
and sounds of what she is seeing there. We will
I know,
continue
right?
to
Well,
give you as
you know,
much
but-
information as we have coming out of the courtroom, and just to unpack some things and fast forward just real quickly, we will end up following the president in this motorcade back to DCA, where I think at that point we might have a chance to get a few comments from President Trump. We'll keep you advised there. But until then, I'll toss it back to Vanessa Broussard, live in front of the courthouse.
Okay, so we are here with Michael now. outside. He is with Blacks for Trump. You have your whole group with you. I see you in
there
a
was a
lot
good
of
article about
places.
this guy,
Talk
actually.
about
There was
first
a really good
what's
article
going
about
on
this
here
guy,
today.
Michael.
What went through
He's a
your
real
mind when you saw
fucker.
these indictments come down?
He's a real
All these indictments are coming down.
stupid
2
motherfucker.
Thessalonians chapter 2, 1 through 11 said the devil will come down with great wrath when they know they have but a short time. And it said the son of perdition must be revealed and moved out of the way, who sits on the seat of God as if he is God. And that's what Biden is doing. And he's weaponized his little trolls like Jack Smith to just bring any kind of charge. All the charges he brings are telling white European Gentiles who are the deplorables that they don't have the same rights as the white people like Hillary and Mitch McConnell. None of them get charged with stuff like this here. They're going against the Presidential Act, which says that if a president
This
makes
guy's a
any statements
freaking
while
paid
he's
actor.
president, you
Bullshit.
can't sue him or bring criminal charges against him. Like they couldn't sue what's that guy's name? Pencilneck. They couldn't sue him because he's a congressman. Senators can't be sued. Nobody can have no criminal charge. But they're doing it against Trump because he's a white European Gentile. So he's found out that he's a black man like me. They thought only black people being treated bad, but white Gentiles who are the deplorables are finding out they treat them as bad, if not worse than us. So that's what I'm here to stop.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad to see you at so many different
I don't know where
events
they are.
and
I'm not
the
sure where they
effort that
are.
you're
Legal
putting in to
expert
save
Larry.
this country. If people want to get involved with your organization, how can they do so?
They can call me at 786-859-9421 or go to gods2.com.
No, don't.
That's that.
Don't do it.
And that's the number 2.
Don't
so
do it.
gods2.com.
The number 2.
Don't do it.
The number 2.com.
Yes, Blacks for Trump. Thank you so much for everything. I know you're in a hurry because they want Trump to see them when he leaves the courthouse. Thank you, Michael. Yes, he's already in there. Yes. And so the proceeding starts at 4 o'clock. We are just about 15 minutes away from that beginning here Eastern time. And we are just waiting for more from inside the courthouse. But again, on the outside, a lot of people here in support of President Trump. And it's really great to see only a few protesters. We have music playing right now, music from artists sing Free J6. So again, here in Washington, D.C., a very liberal city. Didn't know what I was walking into today, but I walked into almost a Trump rally of sorts. A lot of people here supporting the president. Hey, we want to thank our sponsors. And as we gear up for 2024, we have a long way to go. So we're going to need some coffee. So let's try out Blackout Coffee. If you're tired of the same old liberal flavored coffee brand, stop giving your money to woke companies that don't care about you. Go with a coffee option that aligns with your conservative values. And that is Blackout Coffee. It tastes great, but you want to be proud to support the company knowing they align with your conservative values. And that's why I want to urge you to give them a try. I personally recommend Blackout Coffee. This is a coffee company that is 100% committed to conservative values, from sourcing the beans to the roasting process, customer support, or shipping. They've got an incredible work ethic and are dedicated to promoting conservative principles and accept no compromise on taste or quality. So go ahead and go to blackoutcoffee.com/RSBN and use coupon code RSBN for 20% off your first order. So ditch those other guys. Blackout Coffee
I agree,
remains
Tom.
true
I think they are
to
money
our
laundering
values.
front.
That's blackoutcoffee.com/RSBN. You can use the coupon code RSBN again for 20% off your first
I can't imagine how her life has changed overnight.
Wondering what's going on here in our shots right now. We are in a tight squeeze. Security is tight, so we have dozens of people here in this little section.
Keeps the look away, Badger. That's a good one.
And we are
Blackout
looking
Coffee,
at
because
the
we learned
backside of the courthouse. President Trump's motorcade came through the street that you see here. They have it blocked off and turned right
burnt because we learned
behind
from
the courthouse. Now, security again is tight. We have the Department of Homeland Security right in front of us. We have police officers lining the streets. We also have Secret Service. We have snipers and helicopters flying over us. If you can see, the bicycle police officers are here, the motorcycle police. So lots of good security here, and we thank them for the job that they do. It's very peaceful here today, very quiet. Just a lot of people standing around with their phones waiting to get a glimpse of the president. Now, on the opposite side, we are at the corner of Constitution Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue. On the other side of the block, you do have more people here in support of the president, singing patriotic songs, having patriotic chants, sometimes chanting Free J6, meaning Free January 6th. And so it's great to see all the people here in support of the president. Now, the group I just spoke to, they have signs for the president, and they were going around the block. So when the president leaves with this motorcade, they want to make sure that he sees their signs and knows that they are here in support of him. Now, looking at this indictment, this came down Tuesday for charges against the president in connection with January 6th, and also got his accounting license taken away in Connecticut indictment, you will see word for word what special counsel Jack Smith is accusing the president of. And the Trump campaign did issue this statement immediately after those indictments came down, saying, quote, "This is nothing more than the latest corrupt chapter in the continued pathetic attempt by the Biden crime family and their weaponized Department of Justice to interfere with the 2024 presidential election, in which President Trump is the undisputed front runner and leading by substantial margins. But why did they wait 2.5 years to bring these fake charges right in the middle of President Trump's winning campaign for 2024?
Connection.
I've never heard of that. It sounds amazing. The big crooked Joe Biden scandal broke out from the halls of Congress. The answer is election interference, end quote. So that was a statement from the Trump campaign immediately after the indictments came down. And I 100% agree that this is election interference, because they're absolutely right. January 2021, if something was done wrong then, why wait until now? Because they are scared. They are worried that President Trump will win 2024, and they are doing anything in their power to make sure that he is not on the ballot, that he is in jail, and that the American people will kind of push away from the president. But that's not happening. And as you see, after every bogus indictment, the one with Stormy Daniels in New York, the one with the Mar-a-Lago raid, the boxes hoax in Florida, and now this in Washington, D.C., every time they make an accusation against President Trump, and every time they go after him, the American people wake up and his numbers continue to grow. So congratulations, Jack Smith.
No, he doesn't. Actually, he's gotten less voters. He has less voters than he did. He has less voters than he did in 2020. I can guarantee it.
And we're not backing down from supporting President Trump.
Oh, yeah, I like
definitely election interference. He is winning in the polls. In some Republican primary polls, he's up 40%, even 50%.
They're not percentage.
Behind him is not even close to the single digits in some cases. Now, when he goes head-to-head against Biden, he's also winning there. They know President Trump is going to win in 2024, and this is just another attempt to bring him down. I know that. You know that. The president knows that.
He crimed, and so he's being held accountable for his crimes.
I should say, to keep fighting and to keep coming out here and pushing for the president is when I see their lies.
Yeah, I think he is right. I really do. There's far less MAGA than there was.
A video that he's going to keep fighting, or he goes to.
I don't know where the normal Republicans are, because
the crowd,
they sure are quiet.
I will not stop. That makes me not want to stop. So don't give up hope. That is the key here.
He just has
there
loud
is hope on the
voters.
horizon.
Stupid
we
loud
just have to
voters.
keep
He doesn't
fighting.
have smart
This is a
loud
long
voters.
road ahead.
Notice.
We're just in August of 2023. We have to make it to November 24. So it's going to be a long road. It's going to be difficult.
My current fave coffee is Trader Joe's Organic Bolivian Blend Jamaica Blue Mountain Smoking.
We're here for him, just like
find and
is here
really
for
pricey.
us. Again,
used to
10
drink
minutes out from the
their
hearing
French
proceedings
roast. I
to
like their
begin.
French
They're
roast.
expected to begin at 4
I'm telling you
p.m.
right now,
Eastern.
Phil's is just
You're
like,
looking
I
at
know it's,
live
you can get the
pictures
beans
from the
online, but
back of the
I really,
courthouse. That's where
I just
President
love this
Trump's
coffee.
motorcade
I don't
pulled
know why.
in,
It just
and
tastes
the
good.
president went
I
inside
can't
from the
explain it.
back of the
Harry Dunn and the other
courthouse.
Capitol
People are
police are
lined
going to
up
be in the
around
courtroom.
several
Really,
blocks here,
KMS?
hoping to get a
That's
glimpse of him
fantastic.
with their phones out, just waiting.
That's
Police
so
officers
great.
have this street blocked off. This is
God, that just gave me
the
goosebumps.
northwest side, I should
That
say,
gave me
of the
goosebumps.
building. And
Oh, brim coffee.
so
Yeah.
far, so good. All calm,
Fill it to the
peaceful,
brim with
quiet,
brim. Fill it to the rim
except
with
for
brim.
someone on the other
That's great,
side of the street
KMS.
with a
Great
megaphone
news.
talking to the crowd supporting President Trump. So it's
Thank
really
you for
quiet and
sharing that.
peaceful here. People hoping to see the president and hoping the president sees them, that they're here supporting him. Again, just a couple of protesters, but not doing any harm. They're just
KMS,
walking
I have some
around
news
with
to tell you.
signs.
If you haven't
But
seen my
that's it.
tweet.
Very quiet. Brian Glenn is on the inside with the Trump campaign. Cameras are not allowed inside of the courtroom,
But I don't know. Have
he
you
is
seen my
inside
tweets,
with the
KMS?
team,
You might want
awaiting
to
word
take a look.
as we wait for what's going on inside the courtroom.
From
Brian
last
Glenn
night.
will get first
Actually, I
knowledge
should
of
probably
that
just
with
send you the
Trump's
tweet.
team,
I'll
and then
send you
he'll
the
relay
tweet.
it to us.
I make my coffee in a stove percolator. Had it camping once. Oh my God. We'll never own
So
another plug-in.
3:52 here Eastern time. The proceeding starts at 4 o'clock, so
Local
just
roaster,
in
that's
8
nice.
minutes
Oh, that's so cool,
as we
Pepper.
await yet
He's
a third
important.
indictment on the president.
Tom. Okay, so there was an interesting comment about that last night, and I actually agree
President
with
Trump
this
has been
comment.
vocal on Truth Social.
If
If you're
they
there, go
if they
follow President
televise it
Trump.
in
You can
real
also follow
time,
me at Vanessa
there is too
Broussard.
much of an
I
opportunity, I think,
retruth a lot
for
of his posts.
witness
One of
intimidation
the
and
ones that really
tampering and
stuck
all
out
the
to
rest of it.
me
If they
regarding this
record it
latest indictment
and then
is a
play it
truth that the
after,
president put out saying this: the latest fake case
right?
brought by
Then
crooked
we
Joe
all get to
Biden
we
and
get to see
deranged
the
Jack
whole
Smith will
case, but
hopefully be
not in
moved
real
to an
time. That
impartial
would,
venue such as the
yeah.
politically unbiased
I
nearby
don't know.
state
I
of
think
West
it's a good
Virginia.
point. Hi, Lee.
Impossible,
How
he
are
says, to
you?
get a fair trial in Washington, D.C., which is over 95% anti-Trump, and for
Well,
which I
it's up
have
to the,
called
I don't
for
know,
federal
Michael. I
takeover
don't know.
in order
I
to
think
bring
you're
our
probably
capital
right
back
because
to
federal
greatness.
court, I think,
It is
has
now a
a,
high
I
crime
think that
embarrassment
is
to
what
our
someone
nation
said because
and
of federal
indeed the
court, yeah.
world. This
But I
indictment is
don't
all
know.
about
I think
election
that someone
interference,
can,
he
I
says.
do think
And
the
I think
judge
he's
may
right.
have some leeway, but I
It's
don't know
almost
that.
impossible for him to get a
Hey,
fair
Al,
trial
how are
in
you?
Washington, D.C., which
Very,
is
very
95%
thirsty. I
or
am.
so
How are you?
Democrat, and
So
the judges
good.
are, the jury will be,
What's
and
up?
so
Justice is up.
he
No.
most likely will get an impartial trial. And so I agree with
Justice
him.
is
Why
up.
not move it to politically unbiased nearby state of West
I have two
Virginia? But
coffee
we'll see
makers
what
that don't use
happens
electricity
here
nor
in the
heat.
coming days. I know
The
his attorneys are
Aereo
working
Press,
hard on
highly
this case, as
recommend.
well
And
as
one of
the
those
other
stove
cases in which he's
cool.
been falsely
Oh,
accused. And
AeroPress.
so
I
they
think
have their
I
work
had
cut
a
out
friend
for
that
them, but
used
he
that
has
when
the
we were in
best teams
Africa because it was hard to find like drip
behind him.
coffee.
And so
I think she used that
we're
to make
hoping
her
he comes
coffee with.
out.
Yeah.
He comes out good. You know, President Trump has been blasted and accused
There are more
and
people in the district
just
for
belittled
his
since
arraignment
he
today
announced
than
his
there were in
presidency in
inauguration. I hope that
2016.
that
So it
makes him
hasn't been easy
crazy.
for him.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it,
And
but
half
the
the
only
time I
one
end up
person that
using
I know
instant.
can, and
Really,
that's
Siegfried? I
President
just
Trump.
don't drink
So
instant coffee
he's
anymore.
used to these
My
accusations.
AeroPress
He
with a
knows how to
Joe
handle
Presso.
them. He's a very intelligent man,
Whoa.
as you know. And so if anybody can
You're
do it,
going
President Trump can do
deep.
it. And that's
You're
why
going
we love
deep.
him. We believe that he is the man that can save this country. The
You're like
Democrats know that too. The Biden family knows that too. Jack Smith knows that too.
where are
Merrick
all those
Garland knows
bikes?
that too.
Are those
And so
all
they
like
are trying to bring him down.
bike cops?
All right, as we wait for this to begin, we are 5 minutes out. We're
I
going to go
love
to a
pour
quick
over.
commercial break, and we'll
Give
be
me
right
coffee.
back
That's what
here
this
on
is.
Right
And I
Side
love pour over.
Broadcasting
I'm
Network.
sorry. I'm such a.
What's up, guys? My name is
And
Jaden
your
Hurd,
water
and you're
temperature
watching
is really
Rightside
important.
Broadcasting Network. I have a new show over
I'm
there
going
on
to turn
Rumble
you
that comes
off
out.
because you're really boring. And I'm gonna tell you because I really have fallen for this whole religion thing, and I think everybody should be religious. So I'm going to be able to tell you all the things I think about religion and the Bible and culture. Bye. Let it be heard of Jason Hurd. Get it? Get it? You get it? I really, it's a third party that makes an espresso attachment. Wow, Michael, you are dropping some major knowledge here. I love it. Tax organized religion. Fuck that. Audit organized religion. Can we just audit them? That would be great. That would be great. I like the idea of making coffee without electricity. But you do need to get something that gets the water to the right temperature. That's real. I've learned that. Water temperature matters with coffee. I've had 2 presses over the years that managed to break the glass part. Yeah, well, that's how you get it audited and better IRS criminal inquiry oversight. Yes. Yes. Tax code, yeah. We're laying in our bed, and it's so soft and smooth. What is Mike Lindell doing in our bedroom? What the fuck are you doing in our bedroom, Mike? Get the fuck out of our bedroom. Get the fuck out of our bedroom, Mike. Come on, take your crack and get the hell out of our house right now. Yeah. I have a great video that I just made of him with his lips, licking his lips. This guy's on drugs, okay? This guy's taking major drugs because he's losing everything. Yep, he's losing everything. He was dumb enough to spend his own money. Bye, Tom. I'll see you later. They're the ones that picked up Bannon of the Go yacht. I want them to ship Trump around shipping drone for all of these cases in the future. Wouldn't that be great? Or acrylic. Oh yeah, I don't know if it's plastic. I don't know. I think the AeroPress is probably like that plastic kind of thing. You know, the heat resistant plastic. I don't know what that is. All we have to advertise is coffee and pillows. The only people that will advertise with us is this stupid coffee company that tastes like shit. And then we will also have pillows for sale and gold. We sell pillows, gold, and comfy. Come and drink our coffee and sleep on our pillows, and then go ahead and get all your gold like a pirate. Another one for MIT. I don't know why that's funny, but it is. 20% off shitty coffee. Get it while it's hot.
Will begin in this federal courthouse for President Donald J. Trump to go before a judge with 4 new charges brought against him, an indictment from special counsel Jack Smith, accusing him of lying and trying to turn over the 2020 election. And this all stemming from January 6th.
No, it's not. It's really stemming from
proceedings will begin at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's currently 4 p.m. Eastern now, so it should be starting here.
All these plans.
Right now,
I'm going to end the poll, and yeah, it looks like the results of the poll
read the charges against the president, and a few
49%. Here's the results of the poll
between Trump's attorneys and the judge.
Yes, 48%.
And then the president will leave in his
51% said he shot them on the plane.
The airport.
51%
We'll talk
he
more
shot
about
them
what's
on the
going on
plane.
here today, but I want to talk about Birch Gold.
No
you know, the economy is rough right now. A lot of people are worried about their 401ks, or worried about your IRAs. But contact the Birch Gold Group. They'll definitely help you out with your savings. You can text
or
the
the
word
only
Trump
source
to
of
989898. There's a monumental shift happening among nations that control
Team
1/3 of the world's GDP, and that actually kicks off on August 22nd, just weeks away. So arm yourself with information to protect your
Mike Lindell's having
retirement
another
savings.
symposium.
Text Trump to the number
August
989898. You can claim a free information kit. Someone will call you, a representative. They are very easy to work with. They will come up with a plan that's best for you.
I mean, I don't know what we're watching, but
hopefully
I
give
guess
you
we're
a
watching
better
it
rest at
together.
night, knowing that you are investing with a great
It's
gold
a
company.
story.
That's
Oh my
Birch
God. I'm
Gold.
so sorry.
Text the
I'm
word
just
Trump to the number 98.
yeah. Yeah. I just want her to be quiet. Just be quiet. Yeah, follow it on Rumble. Locals. There's another horrible website, by the way. All the really baddies have like a locals thing. It's terrible. Locals is terrible. I don't remember. Jay Rance, do you know who started Locals? Do you know the background on Locals? I have a gas stove but use electric for water, hot water heater. I think ours is electric too, even though we have a gas stove. Isn't that weird? I wonder why. Yeah, I don't know. Jay Rance, if you're here, do you know where Locals? Where is Locals? I don't know. All right, let's see.
I almost
Arraignment has
smiled
begun.
whenever I read that last one. Crazier by the day. First, it was Russia. So many different accusations against the president. This is just another day
so
in the
many
life of
crimes.
President Trump.
So many
But when you
crimes.
start
So many
making
crimes.
up accusations
I mean,
and
they
lying,
just, sweetheart,
and
they
it
just,
came out that the Russia
baby
hoax
girl.
was
I guess I have 5 coffee
completely
makers if I count my
fabricated.
candy coffee
Why
cups.
weren't these people behind it indicted?
Locals is
They
terrible.
knew that they were
Yes,
fabricating
it's terrible.
a claim against the president. Why
They're
weren't they
not.
indicted? Why weren't
They're
they
not.
thrown
They're
in
not
jail?
fabricating a claim. They're
So
not. Because they didn't.
this is just the left's attempt and
No,
the
it's
Biden
not.
family's attempt.
No, it's not.
Attorney General Merrick Garland, Special Counsel Jack Smith, their attempt
Nope.
to bring down President Trump. And they're going
Nope.
to any
Hold them
length
accountable.
to do
Yep.
so. It's
And
very
that's
clear.
what we
This is his
do. We hold
third
each other
indictment since March.
I just got an error message too. Yes,
Third
supposed to have the
indictment
gas
since
stove. I
March.
don't even
We're
have a
in
microwave
August.
anymore, and I
It's
don't
never
miss it.
ending
Easy
with
enough
them.
reheating
So,
stuff. I
you
agree,
know,
Nancy. I do that too.
how much can one
I would
person
watch
take? Well,
Patrick
definitely
Byrne
for
on
President
Locals,
Trump,
but
he
that's
can
all I
take a
know
lot.
about
That
it.
is
Yeah,
a strong
Siegfried, that's what
man
I do
because
too. That's the only one
he
I watch, I think.
he is handling it all
Yeah.
and handling all of it very well, and keeps telling us that he is going to keep fighting for us, and he is not backing down, and
He's
we
not-
will win
he's not
in
gonna fight for anyone but
2024.
himself.
So I said it earlier before the commercial break, and I'll
He just
reiterate
fights
it.
for himself.
President Trump brings hope. He brings hope to
He doesn't.
Americans,
He doesn't
to
bring
American
anyone.
families,
No, he
to
doesn't.
the workers out there, to the people who are struggling to make ends meet, to the people
No, he
on the
doesn't.
border who are having to worry
No.
about drugs coming across the border,
He
illegals
doesn't.
coming onto their
No.
property,
No.
to the
Doesn't happen.
mothers and fathers who
Doesn't
worry
happen.
about what their children are learning in school and
Doesn't
in
happen.
libraries. So
Funny, it
this
never
man
happens.
wants to protect our
No, he doesn't.
Constitution,
No, he actually
protect
doesn't. He
our
actually tried to
God-given
throw it out.
rights, our
No,
liberties,
we don't have God-given
justice.
rights. There is
He
no
wants to
God.
protect our
Okay.
freedoms. He wants to
Yeah, no, he
protect the
doesn't.
First Amendment,
No,
Second
he wants to
Amendment, and
protect
on. He
himself.
wants to,
No,
bring back
Vanessa,
law
you're
and order.
wrong.
This man is trying to save this country, and they
No,
are
he's
bringing
not.
him
He's actually
down.
trying to destroy
in their
it for his
best
own
effort,
gain.
trying to bring him down because he loves the country.
No,
His
he
administration
doesn't.
and the people behind him
He actually hates you too,
are
Nancy.
clearly
Or whatever
America
your name is.
last. The president
Vanessa.
and the MAGA movement is
He hates
America
Vanessa.
first. If you're
Because
just
he
now
thinks you're
joining
an
us,
idiot
the
and you're not
proceeding
even
for
good looking
President
enough for
Trump
him
is
already.
underway
How about
inside the courthouse
How about that's
here
what he would
in
say to you right
Washington,
now,
D.C.
Vanessa?
It is 4:05 local time. We're told it'll take about 30 minutes or so. Our Brian Glenn is on the inside. No
Always
cameras
gets
will be
better on the
allowed
stove.
inside the
Yes, I
courtroom, but
agree.
our
Nancy, I agree with that.
crew
I agree.
is part
I don't
of
like
President
microwave
Trump's
food.
motorcade today, so you'll be seeing exclusive footage
I even like
from
popcorn on the stove. I
RSBN
make my popcorn on the
throughout the
stove.
day, and also on our social media pages and on
Oh
our
yeah, no, this is
website.
all total white supremacy. I'm sorry. Just like
So make sure
let
you
me be
follow
clear.
rsbnetwork.com. Also sign up for our newsletter while you're there. Also go to donaldjtrump.com as well. You can donate, even if it's just $1. If 50,000 people donated $1,
Sponsored
that's
by, yeah.
$50,000 for President Trump in his fight against this evil Biden family, the corrupt Biden family, and also
not corrupt.
the people in their network. You can also go to Agenda 47. I really like going to that
She likes
portion of
going
his
to Agenda
website
47.
to see videos, new updated videos from the president talking about his plans for 2024 and beyond.
Yeah, throw your retirement away.
Continuing the border wall
Please.
is one item that he wants to continue. When he was president, he constructed 400 miles of wall along the southern border. That border is now wide open for just anyone and everybody to come on in and make a home in America and not come in the legal
Big
way.
potatoes
The
are easier in the
president wants
microwave
to
with these hot
finish
days. I
the
cook all my
border
potatoes
wall. He
at
wants
once
to
on the
bring
grill.
back
Oh, I
law
wish I had a
and
grill.
order,
I don't have a
especially to
grill.
these Democrat-run cities
I should get it.
where law
I wonder
enforcement
if I can
officers
have one
are
on
not
my
respected.
balcony.
Their jobs are hard, America. They go
I'm
in
gonna
every
do
day
that. I'm gonna get
and
it.
every night, not knowing what they're
I
going
wish
to
I could do
encounter
that
and
on my
these split
patio.
decisions they have to make. And it's just hard for them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
And
get a grill.
President Trump wants to bring back law and
I'm
order.
gonna
He
grill.
wants
I'm gonna
to
grill
make our
vegetables.
economy strong
I
again. He
love
wants
stuff
to
on the grill. I'll
make
say,
sure
I'm
that
gonna
we
grill.
don't have to worry at night how we're going to feed our family the next day.
Maybe.
He also
Somewhere.
wants to take care of our veterans.
He
Look
doesn't.
at our
He doesn't.
streets,
He hates the
the
veterans. He
homeless
thinks they're
population.
losers.
You go to
He
California
thinks
and you
there's
look at all
losers.
these big cities, San Diego, Sacramento, all of these Democrat-run cities that are just flooded with
There's other
homeless people.
there's other
That's
cities
not
that have
okay.
homeless people too. That's
So
not a
there's
Democrat issue.
a big problem in America
It's not our
today that we're
problem. That's not a
facing, and we have
problem
to
that
make a
was
change in
created by Democrats.
2024
It was a
because
problem that all of
what
us
will
created.
America look
We
like
all need to fix it.
if we do not
You
win
can
in
use one on the balcony as
2024?
long as
Scary to
there's
think
no
about. So we
danger
have work
of the
to do
smoke
ahead of us.
going
What can you do at
inside of
home?
it.
You can
Oh,
join
yeah.
Republican
Yeah.
organizations in your community.
I think I
You
could
can
do,
sign
and
up to
I'm
be an
the end of the
election worker.
building,
You
so I
can
wouldn't
sign
like
up to
the
be a
smoke wouldn't
poll
blow in
worker.
anyone's
So there's
window, so
different
that's
things that
good
you
too.
can do to make
I
sure
don't
our
know.
elections are run
Waiting for the
smoothly and
judge.
correctly.
Oh, great,
That's
Michael.
another
Thank
reason why we're
you.
here today is
Thank
because
you,
he
Michael.
questioned the
I
outcome
need to
of the
get a grill, but I
2020 election,
cut them in half and say,
which to me is
wait,
completely legal. They're saying that
what?
he knew
So right
that he
now
lost in
and better.
2020, but
I
tried
can't
to
read anything.
convince people,
My
including
glasses.
Vice President Mike Pence, to delay
You
announcing
can't do that. That's illegal. That's
Biden,
illegal, stupid.
Joe
bitch.
Biden won the
It's
presidency,
illegal. It's illegal,
and that he
bitch.
lied to the American people
Fucking
that
illegal.
the elections were
Fucking
rigged.
illegal.
That's what they're claiming. But I spoke about this earlier. When you're on the local level and you
Scott
lose an
McFarland.
election,
Oh,
you
okay.
have
I
the
need to
right
get a
for a
grill, but I
recount.
cut
You
them
have
in
the
half
right
and I
to
serrate them.
question the
Add butter
election
and salt
integrity,
and pepper and bacon
especially
and toaster oven, but I
when
love bacon. Oh my God,
America
that
goes to
smells
sleep
so
at night with President Trump well in the
That
lead, and
smells
they
so
wake up the
good.
next morning and Joe
Great.
Biden is president. You saw
Now I really
the
want
movie
to gotta see what
2000
Scott is
Mules,
saying. Yeah, do it, do it,
all
do
of
it,
the
do it.
evidence that is there of ballot stuffing, ballot harvesting, all of these ballots just showing up in the middle of the night. The evidence
No,
is there.
none
So
of that
yes, the
happened. The
president
evidence is not there. There's
questioned
no evidence. There's
the
no
integrity
evidence.
of our
No.
elections. And
There's
by
no
doing
evidence.
so,
No
Joe
evidence.
Biden
I know. Now I'm
and
hungry.
his
Now I want a baked
regime
potato. I go probably
are
think that.
slapping
Okay,
Trump
I'm so
on the
excited now.
hand
I
for
have
asking
charcoal gas
questions
and a pellet smoker.
and wanting
Okay,
a
listen,
fair
I want a
election
smoker. I
process.
don't have
So
enough
that's
room
why
for
we're here
one,
today.
but I want a smoker.
More bogus accusations against
Because
the
like
president.
that seems
You're
like
looking
really
at footage. I know
delicious.
we don't have a lot to show you right now. You're looking at the
Right?
back
That's
side
so
of the
great.
federal courthouse
I just ate some
with a
chicken
tight squeeze
tacos.
here.
Michael. Okay,
If we turn the
you
camera
guys are
around,
all
which we
terrible
can't do
people.
because it's such a tight squeeze, all you're going to see are heads.
And
Because
you
we
said
are
the T
shoulder to
word. You
shoulder
said
with a crowd
tacos.
of people hoping to get a glimpse of the president's motorcade when he leaves this court proceeding. It'll be about 20 minutes from now.
Whoops. Oh, here we go. Yes. 20 minutes from now. We have a big green egg. Oh, J-Rams, I've seen those. Those are awesome.
All right, they were
I
moving
think a
us just a little
Foreman.
bit
Yeah,
again.
you're right, Sigrid. I get a small one. A used smoker. That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. That's so smart. I love those green eggs. Those are amazing. You know what else I saw? This woman
Stand
had one
by
of
as
those
we
like
make sure
outdoor.
that
What are
we
they
are
called?
in
They're
a
like these big
proper
steel.
position.
grills, you know, like the big steel pieces, like a flat steel,
I think we're
and
good.
it's like heated from the bottom. It's like a
President
short
Trump
order
was
grill.
indicted on Tuesday, his
looks
third indictment
amazing.
since March. Jack Smith, special counsel, went before America and announced these charges against the president. He claims that President Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election, claiming he lied about the outcome of the election. New details came out in this indictment from then
Oh,
Vice
God, there's just too
President
many
Mike
grills.
Pence claiming Trump tried to convince him to delay or reject the
I
election
kind of
results.
want to do a charcoal grill.
These new details coming in
Flat
are
top.
coming
Yeah,
in
flat
2.5 years
It's hard to
after
use.
the
My husband is really good at it.
occurrence on
We do smoke
January
turkey.
6, 2021.
Genius, that
And
sounds so good.
ironically, Mike Pence
Matcha grill?
is
I
running
don't
for
know if that's
president
what it.
as
I
well.
think it.
So again, new
I don't
details from
remember what
then
this
Vice
woman
President
called it.
Mike
I don't know if
Pence
I'm
claiming
saying it
that
right,
Trump
but I know
tried to
what you mean
convince him
about
to
the short
delay or
order. Yeah,
reject the election
I've seen
results.
some TikToks with a
That
woman
didn't
trying
fare
to use
well
it.
with the MAGA
Okay.
movement when this came out.
Anyway, it looked really
Mike Pence, I
fun.
was reading on social media
It's the
outlets,
charcoal that
Mike
makes it
Pence
taste good.
getting
I know.
slammed
I'm
by
thinking of
Trump's
just getting a
supporters
charcoal
for
grill and doing the
betraying
wood.
the
You
president
know,
and
like I
lying
like the
about the
wood.
president. Those are their words. So Mike Pence did not get, I guess, the reaction
Yeah,
he
I
wanted
feel like I
by
want
these
him.
claims.
It's a pain in the ass.
But when you look at who
But
hasn't been indicted,
because I'm the one that has to
you know,
clean
Hillary
it.
Clinton with Benghazi. 4 servicemen died in Benghazi.
Okay, she
She fell
spent
asleep
like
at the wheel
dozens of
during Benghazi.
hours
She
being
wasn't
questioned
indicted.
about
She
Benghazi.
questioned the
She didn't do
2016
anything.
election
She
when
didn't do
President Trump
anything.
won.
Yeah, she
She
did.
didn't get
Because he didn't.
indicted.
It's because she
Joe
didn't try to
Biden,
overturn
what
the
about his
election.
business deals with Hunter?
He doesn't have any
Lying to
evidence of
the
any
media, saying
wrongdoing. So
that
yeah, Hunter's a tool, but there's no
he's never
evidence of any wrongdoing
spoken with
there. He
Hunter
just looked at it.
about these business
No, he didn't
deals.
say that. He didn't
Well,
actually say that.
Hunter hasn't been indicted either. Devin Archer just came
Yeah,
out
actually,
saying that
Hunter was
Biden
indicted,
clearly
and so
knew
you're
about
wrong
Hunter's
again.
business
I don't
dealings.
even know. You can't
He was
even
on
fact check this
speakerphone
bitch.
during
You
those
cannot
dealings.
fucking hickory
Devin
smoke
Archer, a
chips.
longtime
Thank you.
friend and partner with Hunter Biden, testified in
I think I'm
closed
gonna
doors
do it.
before
I'm
Congress.
gonna do it
And you can also read
because
those
I
full
love grilled food.
articles
I'm gonna do
online
it.
as well. I believe those
I'm
just
gonna
came out
do
this
it.
morning, maybe late last night. Those came from Devin Archer. But again, all of this is
Hunter,
going
Hunter,
on
Hunter, 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 Hunter,
and
Hunter,
coming to
Hunter,
light.
Hunter, Hunter, Hunter,
And as
Hunter,
soon as it
Hunter,
does,
Hunter,
they
Hunter.
hit Donald Trump
They're just
with more
jealous. They're just jealous that they're not
accusations.
snorting cocaine off of
So
a
he'll be in the limelight,
prostitute's
and the
tummy.
Bidens
That's all.
are swept under the rug and forgotten about, including
I'm
the
doing it.
cocaine
I'm
at the
doing
White
it, Jay.
House.
I'm doing it
We
today.
haven't heard about that lately. Who brought in cocaine to the White House? They
Do it
say
today.
there's no way they can tell. Well, I say that that's probably the most secure building in America with cameras
Well,
everywhere and great security
do it.
and
Do
mags that
it.
you have to
I'm
walk
doing it. I
through.
don't know why I haven't done it,
Where,
actually.
like
It's
you,
kind of stupid that I
mags,
haven't
if
done
you're
it.
unfamiliar with mags, those are what you walk through in an airport when you go through security. Those pick up anything and everything. So,
Really?
how did cocaine get in the White House? That hasn't
They
been
don't
brought
pick
up. So
up,
there are so
magnometers
many
don't pick up
different
cocaine.
situations
Magnometers pick up
where
cocaine.
the left is getting away with their dealings and their
They're
illegal
not. No, we're
acts,
not.
but yet
We're not
there's
doing
all
anything
eyes
illegal, bitch.
on President Trump and fake
It's because
accusations
he is a huge
against
criminal.
President Trump.
Huge criminal. Huge.
4:15
Big,
here.
big
We're
league.
expecting the
Big
proceeding
league
is
criminal.
about halfway done. Our Brian Glenn is inside. He will get with
Come
us
on,
as soon
Brian.
as the proceedings are over and
Come on.
update us
Our
on what is
Brian
going on
Glenn.
there.
B-R-I-N-E.
And if you can listen in, it's very quiet here. Very peaceful. A lot of people just standing phones in their hand, just taking in this historic moment of President Trump being indicted yet again. This is a historic moment. No former president has ever had to deal with these accusations. So this is history in the making today.
I want one of those, like, you know, the thing they had in like Total Recall where he walks through the airport, that it's like his whole body is like
for me, I'd love to join the
X-rayed and it's got
conversation
the
with
gun
you
on his
and
side.
love to talk to you about what's going on.
Are they
here
allowed
today.
to
You can
call
follow
out from
me
the
at
courtroom? I don't think
Vanessa
so.
Broussard on
Because
Truth Social.
I'm
Again,
going to
that's
tell you
at
right now,
Vanessa
Tintin
Broussard
would be
on
all over.
Truth Social.
If he was
If
able
you
to
have any
talk from the
questions, please
courtroom,
Vanessa,
he'd be
if you have any
bitching.
statements that you'd like for me to read on air or any
She's probably screaming.
words for President Trump. We know that President Trump watches
Brandy
Right Side
Buckman
Broadcasting
also
Network.
made it into
And
the
so
courtroom,
if
and
you have
she's
anything that
tweeting.
you would
So
like to
Brandy
say,
Buckman might be a good person to
please let me know right
check
now.
on
Join the
Twitter.
conversation on Truth Social. And while you're there, also follow RSBN. I'm also on Instagram. You can
I
follow
want
me
you to
there,
know
Vanessa
that on True
Broussard News. I
Social,
post
I
a lot
got
of
the name
behind the scenes
Liz,
footage
so
there
that Liz Willis
when I'm
couldn't
out at
have it.
events covering Trump events. So that's at
Oh
Vanessa
wait, maybe that was on
Broussard
Frank
News
Social. Sorry,
on
damn it. I don't think I made it
Instagram.
on. I think on True Social I have a Liz Willis account. So I took Liz Willis's name and made my own True Social
If you're
account for
just
it.
joining us,
So there, Liz
the
Willis.
proceedings
Fuck
are
you.
underway for
I
President
took your
Trump
name.
going before a judge, facing 4 charges in his new indictment that just came down Tuesday from special counsel.
I know
Jack
she
Smith.
did, didn't she? Yeah.
We are
I
at the
saw that
corner
this
of
morning.
Constitution and Pennsylvania. This entire block is blocked,
Yeah.
closed to
I think she
through
got some of the
traffic.
666
Police
and the Satan.
officers are
She said.
tight right now.
So
They
those were
are
cleared.
keeping this place secure. And there are people standing on corners at the end of each block, hoping to get a glimpse of the president when his motorcade ends. Again, our Brian Glenn will be with the motorcade, bringing you live footage when the president leaves the courthouse. So stick around with RSBN for that. I will tell you, there's only a couple hundred people here.
So it's really a non-event, isn't it?
There's only a couple hundred people here. A much smaller crowd than expected. We were expecting some protesters. Only seen a few of those, but for the most part, it's a lot of people here supporting the president and wanting to
Screaming
let
Steve.
the president actually
Jerry
see that
Arnowitz.
he's loved and
And
they're
Freedom
here
Jeffrey.
to support him.
Okay. It's the Freedom Pigs. The Freedom Pigs are there.
Looking at Truth Social right now, if you are on Truth Social, I'm getting a few comments already. Thank you for all of you who are commenting right now about our work here at RSBN. Thanks for watching RSBN, not just today, but every day as we continue to make our way to 2024. Programming note for the weekend tomorrow. We will be in Alabama
Summer,
for
how
the
are
state
you?
GOP
How
dinner
are you doing?
where President Trump will be speaking. And then on Saturday, we will be in South
I hope you're good.
Carolina for their
Stay strong.
state GOP dinner where President Trump will be speaking. So
Fuck the haters.
after today, we'll be
Right.
in Alabama with the
I
president.
can't believe anyone
on
really
Friday, and
sits
then
and
on Saturday,
watches
South
this motorcade.
Carolina
I know. Well,
with
here
the
we are.
president. And we're
There you
pretty
go.
sure he will be speaking about his indictment today and his thoughts on moving forward. So
Is
stay
he
with
going
Right
to
Side
share his
Broadcasting Network.
thoughts about his
We
indictment?
cover those speeches live this weekend. You can hear it first on RSBN as he talks about moving forward past
I'm good. I've been
not just
through
this
way worse
indictment,
stuff.
but
Yeah, I
also
know.
the other 2 that have been
All
brought
this
up
silly
against
stuff.
him.
I did get to tell everybody that I'm going to Sound of Freedom was arrested. Hello, Summer, please. Oh my God, that is such a fucking
We're
cute
about
propaganda movie of
10
really bad
minutes
people.
away from this
Tim Ballard is a
possibly
bad person.
wrapping up. It should be
All of those people are bad. You know those good
underway
Christian
now.
people. Yeah, no, they're actually
We
the
have
human
Patrick
traffickers
Johnson
themselves. So
on
I'm
Truth
so,
Social.
yeah, I
Thanks
know
for
you
writing
are.
in,
Summer, I'm totally with
giving
you
out more names of who
110%.
he believes should be charged. She says Sheila Jackson Lee,
And all those goofy
Kamala,
Kurds can just stop.
Pocahontas, he
I'm
says, and other
serious. I'm
Dems should be
done.
charged using this standard. So that's coming from
I'm sorry
one of
you're
our viewers.
being
Thank you,
so
Patrick, for
fucking-
watching.
Just be wild and
We have Connie who's writing in that says, my husband and I would like to send support to our President Trump, but don't know where to send it. You can go to donaldjtrump.com.
yeah, it's terrible.
There's a
It's a terrible
contribution
movie.
button, and if you can just give $2 or $3,
First of all, Jim
$5,
Caviezel is a
$20,
fucking
whatever you
tool.
give.
And if
The
anybody sees a
president has
movie with
even
Jim
said while
Caviezel
he
in it, I
accepts
question your
donations
taste
and
immediately. Never
appreciates
mind
the
who made
donations
the
for his
movie.
campaign for presidency, don't go broke doing it. So if you can only contribute $1,
Tim Ballard's a
that
horrible
helps. And
person.
if, you know, I said this earlier, 50,000 people can donate $1.
Yep.
That will help the president in this fight
Right.
to
You get
save
told that you don't know what
America.
you're talking
So
about
you can
and that
definitely
you're not
go
educated.
to
Such bullshit. Oh my God, that is the biggest
his
fucking bullshit
website.
in the world. Summer, do you know Tina Front
Then we have
from
Bryant saying, "Hi
DC?
Vanessa, please let President Trump know we are
FRUNDT.
praying for him,
She's
and
a
God is
survivor
on
of
his side.
trafficking
America's vast majority is
based
supporting
in
Trump." I really
DC.
like what you said, Bryant,
And I feel like
because
she's been on the circuit
prayer
speaking out about
is what President Trump
domestic
needs.
trafficking.
God is on his side. This is an evil he's fighting. An
And
evil
she's
I
a friend of
can't
mine. I just
understand,
don't know if you know
and an evil
Tina.
I can't comprehend.
I
It
feel
is
like
pure evil
you
that
two
this
would get
man is
along. I
fighting
love
day
Tina very
in
much.
and day
She's a
out.
really
And
wonderful,
so
wonderful
we
person.
need
She reminds me of you a
God
lot.
on our side. God can save this country, and I think that
The
he can
cartel
work
funded
through
that movie, and
President
now
Trump
someone that
to
runs
make
Sugar
sure
Baby and
that
Sugar
he is
Daddy
safe.
stuff
So
has been
before you go
charged
to
with
bed at night,
kidnapping, and
America,
they're all
pray for the
ridiculous. And
president, who
anybody that
again
buys
is
into
fighting
it
an
as well,
evil
yes.
that
Yes.
is
Preach.
very hard
But
to
I love to, yeah,
comprehend.
might as well be the person who
All
said
right,
that.
as we wait for these proceedings to wrap up, they're
I'm
currently
glad
going on
to have
right
your
now.
opinion on that.
No
movie.
cameras
Thanks
are
for
allowed
that.
inside the courtroom, but our Brian Glenn
It's
is
important.
inside the courthouse with President Trump's team. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Right Side Broadcasting is known for panning the crowds, showing the packed
Oh
arenas,
God!
and allowing you
Here
to
we
see
go
the
in the
truth. They've
factory.
covered
There's all
hundreds of
kinds of
rallies.
pillows. We have pillows. Look at those poor employees. All of them are fired. All of those people do not have jobs right now. It's true. True story. True story. They don't have jobs. We want to end. Bio break.
What's up, guys? My name is Jaden Hurd, and you're watching Right Side Broadcasting Network. I have a new show over there on Rumble that comes out every Tuesday and Friday called Let It Be Heard. What we do is we make videos, we analyze the culture, and we analyze politics.
You're an idiot. Sorry, you're an idiot. Look at, they have 3 advertisers, you guys. 3. This is all this channel has only these pathetic advertisers. That's their own show, so that's not even it. Dumb as fuck. Yeah. So dumb. You do? I feel like you might know her. You're testing BioBrain. I would love to meet her sometime. I forget names. I may have met her, know of her, forgot her name. Sounds familiar. Yeah, let's there were plenty of shredded pump pillows when I was growing up. They were called. Thank you, Nancy, for that moment of clarity. Yeah, Tina's a really, oh man, I fucking love Tina. I love Tina. I worked with her when I worked in DC on anti-slavery in foreign countries. I didn't work on domestic trafficking or slavery. I worked on other countries, but yeah, I met her during that, and I really love her. She's a really amazing person. 1.5 stars. It was great, but I couldn't dance to it. Me and 2 other survivors did a show one night, a couple of nights ago on that movie, and then there were people that called those people pedo supporters. I'm like, you idiot. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. They can sit on both of these and spin. Yeah, you got validation from J-Rant. We're gonna be ready. That just means I have to walk back down there. Oh my god, these people are so childish. Where's this tweet? I need to fucking respond to this tweet. Aw, thanks, Gal. Oh my god, I hate Twitter. Can I tell you? I'm gonna get off Twitter as fast as I possibly fucking can. Can I just tell you that? Girl, listen. No, Summer, you can come and visit anytime. What are you saying that? Girl, you don't need. Oh no. I totally support you. No. Summer, don't worry. Please, never worry about that. I adore you. I adore you. Had refugee students who came to us to escape being trapped in their home countries. I usually brought this up with some of the convoy folks. It seemed, yeah, probably. Had it on top messages. Dang it. When Judge asked Trump his age, he said 7'7". Literally. Who does that? Oh my God. That's amazing. Oh my God. That's totally. Oops, sorry. Sorry. I don't think they're
Conspiracy
saying
to
anything.
defraud the United States. Count 2, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Count
Yeah,
3,
him and Epstein and
obstruction
Maxwell
of an
together. I
attempt
mean,
to
come on.
obstruct an official
Come
proceeding.
on.
And count 4, conspiracy against rights. So the judge is reading those violations off to the president and
Okay,
his
let me
lawyers
see if
at
there's
this time inside the
another.
courtroom. No cameras are allowed, but our Brian Glenn is inside the courthouse with the Trump
Let's see if
team,
there's
waiting to
an
get first
actual
word on what actually
person.
was said inside the courtroom. You're looking at live pictures from just outside the courthouse. We are on the northwest side of the courthouse. The road is blocked. You can see tight security all around. They're on the ground. They are on buildings. Snipers and helicopters are circling
Oh, the
over.
Epic
The
Times.
president,
That
when
must
he
be
arrived, did
ridiculous.
not
No.
come up this side street that you're looking at right now, but he
Epic
did
Times
turn
is a
right coming
CCP
up this
operation.
street
I think.
behind the courthouse with his motorcade and went inside the courthouse the back way. Now, I will say this, that he was indicted on Tuesday. This is his third indictment since March. The indictment came down by special counsel Jack Smith, claiming that Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election, claiming he lied about the outcome of the election, and also new details coming from then Vice President Mike Pence, claiming that Trump tried to convince him to delay or reject the election results. President Trump clearly, openly, publicly saying from day one of the outcome that these elections were rigged and that there was voter fraud. And so if you watch 2000 Mules, you'll see videos of that ballot boxing stuffing in the middle of the night when nobody was looking, and all of a sudden President Trump
That's not true.
starts losing in the electoral votes.
That's not how it works.
People in
Not how it
America were
works, baby
sleeping in the
girl.
overnight hours.
Not how it
They're
works.
slapping him on the
The
wrist
votes
for
were
wanting to
counted.
secure our elections and question what happened that night when people were sleeping. Why was I in the lead before we went to bed and had a good outlook for in the morning? But all of these
no, they were counted
ballot
votes.
stuffings
They were
and
people.
ballot
Those were people who
locations
voted.
and polling locations
Those were
putting
people who voted. We had drop boxes because remember we had COVID. Remember?
boxes and paper on windows so people couldn't see what was going on
And they were
inside at these
recounted.
tally
Everything's fine.
locations. So yeah, there are a lot of questions, but I guess President Trump is not allowed to question what happened that night during the 2020 election. And since he did, they're slapping him on the wrist. They're trying to get anything they can on this man to keep him from running in the 2024 election. This is election interference at its finest.
That would allow him to intervene in an election and take the election over. So he did that in 2018. So literally 3 years before
as we wait for word from
January
Brian Glenn
6th,
on the
he
inside,
tried to
I do
stay
want to
in.
talk to you again if you're just joining us about saving your money. I know IRAs, your 401ks, if you're trying to put money away.
I love how they continue to play down
it's hard
about absentee ballots, even though everyone was advised in advance that they would be counted late. Yep, that's right. That's okay, Karen. You can yell. Today's a good day to yell.
9898. A representative will call you, work out a plan that's best for you. You will get a free information kit and put your money in gold.
Facts.
This is part of a long-term plan to
the state legislatures didn't do anything illegal by changing whatever laws they had to accommodate the voting changes.
Russia,
None of that was
India,
illegal.
China, South Africa, they're all
Then
expected
out in the
to
open.
announce the launch of a new international
So sorry,
supercurrency
you
fully
lost.
backed by gold
You
or
totally
other
lost.
commodities. So
You're a
if you want to
loser.
protect your IRA or 401k from the fallout from this
NY
landmark announcement,
Times
you diversify
is now
with
warning Trump
gold from
against
the
violating
Birch
the conditions
Gold
of
Group.
release and
Start
tells him
thinking
to listen
ahead,
carefully.
and
If he
now,
fails
today
to
is the
comply, a
day.
warrant may be
So
issued
again,
for his
text the word
arrest. I am
Trump to
the
9898.
conditions of release may be
9898
revoked and he
and
may be
claim
held
your free
pending trial and
information
receive a
kit
longer sentence. He
from
could be
Birch
charged with a
Gold.
contempt of
It
court.
is now
Oh my
4:30
God.
Eastern time.
Yeah, he did. You're right,
The
J-Rance. He
hearing
did it in
started
April.
at 4
Wait, you guys
p.m.
got to see this. This is awesome.
And I'm hearing that it may be
Check
wrapping
this
up.
out.
We are going to toss inside right now live to Brian Glenn. Brian.
Nice, Siegfried. Nice. Wait, I thought you were going to Brian Glenn inside.
Okay, we're back here live outside. I'm Vanessa Broussard, just waiting for announcements to come in from the courthouse. The court proceeding is currently going on. President Trump in the courtroom with his team of attorneys
I have to pee, but I don't
to
want
have these charges read against him. Now, he does speak in Alabama tomorrow at the Alabama GOP state dinner, and then South Carolina on Saturday at the South Carolina GOP state dinner. And he will surely talk about what happened today, this latest bogus charge against him, these latest indictments against him, and we'll have to wait and see what he says. But if you're not doing it already, join Truth Social. That's President Trump's social media app, and he tweets on there, or Truth Socials out his thoughts on
Truth
a lot of
Socials.
things are
That's a
happening
verb
in this
now.
country and with him, and sometimes it's during the day and sometimes it's late at night, making you wonder if President Trump ever sleeps.
Yeah,
So join Truth
Karen.
Social,
That's
follow
right.
President
Tintin.
Trump, follow
You're
RSN,
pandering
and
to
follow
really
me while you're
ignorant
there
people,
at
frightened dementia
Vanessa
patients, or plain
Broussard.
old sore losers.
As I mentioned earlier, you can join the conversation if you have any
Hopped up
questions you
on
want to ask
on the
me about
legs.
today's
Yeah, hoping to
proceedings.
own those. Has
I'll be
anyone
glad
ever felt
to
owned? No.
answer that for you here
No.
live on air.
Can confirm, never felt owned. Nope, not once. Not once.
Now,
Right Side Broadcasting.
Yeah, it is a
known
long
for fanning the
time
crowds,
for these
showing the packed
goons.
arenas, and allowing you to
It
see
was
the
probably a
truth.
mistake.
We've covered hundreds of rallies, briefings,
Let's see if we can go
marches.
somewhere else. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, this is probably worse, unfortunately. Okay, wait, here. I'm going to go here, even though this is dumb. I apologize in advance. This is another stupid website,
which
but
the ringman is
it's
still
more
on
news.
right now. So after the ringman is done, Trump is expected to take the same exit as he did when he came in, which is the underground garage in the back of the courthouse over there. And according to CNN, Trump will be speaking after this arraignment process, but before he returns to New Jersey later tonight. We have not heard a final confirmation from Trump's team yet, but we will be keeping an eye on if and when Trump makes an announcement. Steve.
Iris Tao reporting from the federal courthouse there in Washington, D.C. We'll be circling back with her in just a bit. In the meantime, we have Angie Wong joining us now. Journalist Angie Wong, great to see you.
Hey, thank you guys.
Of course, Angie, you have, boots in the ground down in Palm Beach. You know what's going on. How do you anticipate this indictment, this one in particular, will affect the former president?
Look at, they have the same suit on.
Yeah, no, this is
They have the
certainly
same suit and tie, except for he has a blue shirt.
the presidential election in 2024, because what you have here is not only do you have a president who just pleaded not guilty to 4 counts, you also have 5 out of the 6 co-conspirators that are unnamed. They're all lawyers, and they're all lawyers for Trump. So you're going to see some really interesting political tennis with this.
Are you going to see some interesting evidence too?
Documents were turned over for this particular case. A lot of it pertains to the election that Trump claims to be stolen in 2020. So we're going to have that come out during discovery. You're going to see a lot more tennis. Okay. Jack Smith, I don't know if he knew what he bit off when he basically put together this lawsuit. It's going to be quite challenging for him to prove that Trump knew that.
No, I'm not doing it. No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Hold on. Oh my God. Everybody that's doing it. Okay, wait, here we go. Hold on. Big Lolo. There we go.
When there had not been, we'll have to see exactly what the contours of her case are. And if in fact the former president is indicted, if anybody else in his sphere is indicted. We've talked about how we think the special counsel likely did not include other people here, perhaps to make the case go faster. Does the Georgia DA go to the same way? It's not clear. She might not be facing the same sort of time constraints or have the same considerations.
We have the next court date. It's August 28th, and the judge has allowed the president to waive his personal appearance if he wants to. It's interesting. August 28th is his next court date in this matter. August 23rd is the first Republican debate.
I was just going to say.
Unclear, though, if he's going to waive his appearance there, too.
That's right. I talked to a source close to the former president just today who said he's still not planning to attend. This is significant because he's been lobbied by the folks who are running this first debate to attend just this week. But I'm told he's still holding at this decision not to attend the first debate. The reason why is because, of course, he knows he's going to be the target. The question for all of us who will be covering this first debate is to what extent, and he will be the center of the targets undoubtedly, of a number of the other candidates, but can anyone break away? Will anyone have a breakout moment without him on the stage, without that foil there? And I think politically speaking, it's going to be interesting. He's quipped he might use the first debate to pick his potential VP nominee. We'll have to see.
Well, he's confident, and that's the reason why. There's the poll numbers, 54%. If you're Chuck Todd, if you're Donald Trump and you're running away with it right now, why would you go to a debate?
No, you wouldn't. I mean, it would be political malpractice to do that when you're up by this much. Because the whole point is why, especially when you look at Ron DeSantis right now. I mean, he's a guy that looks like he's struggling to get to shore. Like, why throw him a life raft, right? Which is, he desperately needs an event that makes it look like he's got a shot to beat Trump. Well, why give him the venue? So makes no sense to me. And this, by the way, this is not unusual. George W. Bush was the front runner in 2000. He didn't go to the first couple of debates. Front runners, a lot of times when you're the front runner, you don't have to. It's quite common. It would be, I think, odd if he did attend the first or second debate. I don't expect him in a debate until closer to November, December.
All right, let's go back to Hallie briefly. You've getting a little more data from the court.
Well, it speaks to a point that Savannah made before about the sheer amount of evidence, of documents, of information and discovery. The former president's attorney says there is a massive amount of discovery. They're asking for basically the prosecution, the government to give us an understanding of the magnitude of discovery here. They need to figure out, get their arms around how much is out there and what they need to prepare for.
Well, it's interesting because this is the attorney General who's saying there's this mountain of evidence. Give us a crack at it. We got to do the discovery. We got to get our hands on it too. He did say when he was on the Today Show earlier this week, hey, they've had 3.5 years to investigate. Shouldn't we get the same? Which is fascinating and also probably a disputable statement, as the special counsel just was not impaneled 3.5 years ago. But I don't think a judge would have let it go that long. Do you, Danny? 3.5 years?
Not a chance, for several reasons. Number one, single defendant case. Number two, we're in federal court. It moves much more quickly. We talked about the Speedy Trial Act. That is a right to a speedy trial. It is not a right to a delayed trial. Criminal defendants in federal court simply don't have that right. I would add that the special counsel, I believe, didn't get on the case until November of last year. So it's not as if they've been investigating. This special counsel's office has been investigating it for that long. I mean, there is a fair argument on the Trump side, I think, that it has been 2.5 years. But look, you're within, most federal statutes of limitations are 5 years. So if you're within that statute, it sounds like we're about halfway through, then that's not you don't really have much of an argument there either. This happens fairly often in federal court. It's just understood when you're the defense, you've got to get ready faster. You've got to go through terabytes of documents. There's a lot of documents, and that's just life in federal court. That's why a lot of criminal defense attorneys don't like being in federal court. me included.
That's where the statement, it's a federal case, comes from. Now we understand. Laura, would there be any bar to this Judge Chutkan? Let's say she thinks it's fair for the trial to start in January. We know there's a trial starting in May that Judge Cannon down in Florida has set. Is there some, courtesy they have with one another?
She can obviously,
Can she preempt?
Absolutely. There's no rule that says just because the case in Florida came first, that the trial therefore has to go first. And it appears, at least from what we're piecing together here, that Judge Chutkan is all over this case already. So at least from what we're piecing together, that the magistrate judge actually talked to Judge Chutkan, and they actually had a conversation about scheduling to make sure that August 28th date would be available.
And it was Judge Chutkan who said to the magistrate judge, and he can waive his personal appearance. He didn't have to come here. This is a formality.
So again, we're already seeing the signs of her wanting to keep this on track, and it appears that she actually might set the trial date on that August 28th date when they all come in. So she might be ready, even at this early stage, to set the trial date, ready to go. Again, I think these are all just sort of signals of how she's going to move this expeditiously.
Let's take you back to Washington outside the courthouse. Peter, more color, more information from the courtroom.
Yeah, that's right. We're now 25 minutes into this arraignment as it appears to be wrapping up, that the court clerk introduced as the United States of America versus Donald J. Trump. As you have noted, the next court date has been set for August 28th. The only thing that's striking to me there is there were 3 days that the judge
I don't care about them. So there. I love the commish. I don't care about the other person.
August 22nd, or August 28th. The prosecution asked for the nearest date, August 21st. The defense asked for August 28th. It was August 28th, that Monday, that the judge decided on. So it's clear that the prosecution was looking to get things moving. The defense was glad to push things back as far as they could. Again, as things wrap up right now, we are hearing from this magistrate judge that the judge does intend to set the trial date during that next hearing, where the former president does not need to attend on the 28th of August. And some of the key takeaways that you guys have been discussing in a room where there are 4 Secret Service members standing by the door that the former president entered. We're learning some new details about the situation when the former president arrived. Jack Smith, we were told by our colleague Ken Delaney, who was watching the proceedings inside, Jack Smith did not look up at the former president as he entered. He was the only face not to do so, as the entire courtroom bent its head in the former president's direction. Then after the former president took his seat at the defense table, we're told that Jack Smith did give him a look, started staring over at the defendant in this case, now a criminal defendant. But those are the key takeaways as we watch the final details here from inside. The president, as you noted, has had it communicated to him that he cannot interfere in any way, cannot try to influence any jurors, and cannot interact with any of the witnesses in this case, which is notable because the president does have personal relationships with many of these individuals still, and we still don't know who the 6th co-conspirator is, but there is a belief, according to some reports right now, that he may be someone with whom the president routinely travels. If that's the case, that does pose a little bit of a challenge for the president right now, which is to say it's still a current advisor of the former president. All things to keep a close eye on as we watch the way this legal matter proceeds.
All right, Peter, thank you for that update.
As we're watching some of the information, the judge is now out of the courtroom. As Peter has noted, this was a sort of remarkable 30 minutes, almost exactly, that we've seen this hearing.
Wow, what a historic
and the
day.
defense attorney for former President Trump.
Glad you guys are here.
Frankly, scooped it on the Today Show right there with you. What he's saying to the judge, he's saying we need more time. He said the U.S. has had 3.5 years to investigate this matter. We have fact-checked that, asking for the opportunity to have a chance to have a fair trial here. You've heard the prosecution say we will have a fair and speedy trial as required by law.
And former President Trump has now left the courtroom. This lawyer also says for the government to suggest that we can go to court in 70 days is just absurd, which, be that as it may, the government cannot, as a point of fact, cannot force the defendant to go to trial in 70 days. We've discussed that.
I think that one of the things, as we think about the weight of this moment, is do the American people need to see this trial before they go to the polls, if there is in fact this rematch that we are talking about the possibility of. And I think that, I don't know that will impact the legal proceedings, but I think certainly it will be one of the themes that hangs over what is just a very heavy, somber, serious moment in this country.
It's interesting
interesting because the defense, is Chuck Rosenberg still with us? I wanted to ask him this question as former federal prosecutor, former U.S. attorney. Chuck, if you're with us, there you are. Wave. You know, the attorneys, another thing that they're saying out in the press, said on our air, is this is going to be a total and complete relitigation of the 2020 election. So if you love the dead voters allegedly in Michigan, or the this and the that, and the, you know, all of those allegations, all of it, he's saying that we're going to have to come in and try that case. And what is the likelihood that those issues would be allowed into trial? The defense, I assume, would argue, look, this goes to the question of whether he legitimately believed and had a rational basis to believe that the election was fraudulent and therefore his conduct was justified.
Yeah, good question, Savannah. So I find it very hard to believe that a federal district court judge is going to permit the relitigation in her courtroom of 5 dozen cases from around the country.
That's right.
They have been resolved. There's a federal rule of evidence that I believe is right on point. Federal Rule of Evidence 403. Evidence that is more prejudicial than probative is barred from a court. So I think defense lawyers, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, and I say it mindful of the fact that Danny is a colleague. Defense lawyers say lots of things, and they write lots of things, and they argue lots of things. That is their duty to their client. That doesn't mean it's going to fly. The notion that they would relitigate the 2020 election in Judge Chutkin's courtroom, I would say the odds of it are pretty close, if not 0.
How about it? He's saying defense lawyers are going to defense lawyer, Danny.
No, he's right. And the 403 test is something that defense lawyers often lose when they're trying to introduce evidence that they think could possibly help their client. But look, Chuck is exactly right. We have to play the facts as they're given to us, and we have to get creative. And sometimes we try to introduce evidence that the prosecution objects to. The judge has to conduct a balancing test, and it can go either way. It just often goes against the defense attorney. But that's just my personal observation. But Chuck is exactly right. That doesn't mean that the defense still should not try to introduce this evidence. They need to. They need to try and get it in. And look, 403 is a balancing test. So what one judge might admit, another judge might not. But generally, federal judges don't let defense attorneys get as creative as we sometimes get in state court.
But what evidence are we even talking about? What is the hard evidence that they would even introduce to try to shore up their case? If anything, I would think in front of a jury, it would hurt them if they tried to introduce
if you want
things
to gum
about
up the
dead
words,
voters.
well, perhaps, I mean, but what it would certainly do is extend the entire process. Let's be clear about that. But also, if the argument is, I'm not a defense lawyer, but if the argument is he doesn't have corrupt intent, he legitimately believed the election was stolen. This was all the evidence arrayed that he saw. Here's what he saw. You don't have to prove that case is won. You just have to prove that there was a legitimate basis for his belief.
I think some of it prosecutors are going to introduce themselves to show how unreasonable the belief was. I think some of it is going to be sort of all of these phony affidavits and other things that Giuliani and others were collecting to show, look at all of this. Who would have believed any of this? I think is going to be some of the prosecutors.
This goes to a really important point here, which is the importance of a judge in the case. It's incredibly important because the judge has not only the ability to set the schedule and do you have a right to further delay, but to narrow the issues, and that can be the whole ballgame.
Absolutely.
Just to reset where we are, the former president has left the courtroom. He pleaded not guilty to all the counts that were read in open court to him. But again, as far as we know, the proceeding is over. He has left the courtroom, and we expect him to come back to New Jersey. Let's go to Garrett Hake, who's outside.
There's nothing happening in the other.
Well, Lester, I just ran down the courthouse steps to get out here, having been in the courtroom. The proceeding's over, about 27 minutes from start to finish. Frankly, a much more relaxed atmosphere in this courtroom than what I saw in Miami or in New York. Unlike in Miami, everyone was seated in this courtroom at the time Mr. Trump was let in. And he was left to wait for 15 minutes before the judge entered the chambers and started the procedure. You could tell he was a little bit frustrated to have to sit there and wait. He chatted with his attorneys, looking around the room. He appeared to notice that Jack Smith was sitting there, keeping a very close eye on him, but went to some length to look basically everywhere else in the room rather than at Smith. It was also a much more participatory hearing than either of the other two arraignments. Mr. Trump had to answer several questions from the judge, twice taking an oath that his answers would be honest and that he would also follow the conditions of his release that were set at the end of this hearing. He himself pleaded not guilty, not through his attorney, as had been the case in Miami. And at the end of this hearing, I was just very noticeable dynamic. He was fairly quick to leave the room thereafter. Jack Smith, the special counsel, stayed in the courtroom for some time, kind of laughing and chatting, talking with the prosecutors in the room. Just a very interesting interpersonal dynamic between these two men at the center of all of this.
Hey, Garrett, I'm curious about the admonishment that the judge delivered regarding influencing jurors.
Oh, it's not?
I don't have the wording in front of me here, but
Still muffling, but the background noise. Oh, okay.
Well, Lester, I'm not as familiar with the ins and outs of this particular court as I should be to answer whether that's a totally pro forma warning or not. But it obviously takes on, additional meaning here, given the nature of this case, the nature of the obstruction element of this, and the nature of the behavior of this defendant, who we know likes to use his social media platform.
I feel like a bother. Coco, I haven't even seen you.
About people he thinks are disloyal to him.
What?
So,
You didn't even say anything yet. What the hell, Coco?
I do think that admonishment was
You feel like a bother? See you later? What does that even mean?
Warnings and specific penalties for what could happen if Mr. Trump is found not to be following that particular condition along with all the others of his release.
Yeah, we're seeing the motorcade lead now longer than the one.
Never even seen you comment before. Do you have the right chat, Coco? The arraignment is just when you enter your place.
As he leaves the courthouse. We talked earlier about the debates, the effect on Republican candidates.
What if there was like a horror movie right now where like the thing
putting out her first statement since the Tuesday indictment.
The Lincoln Tunnel collapse.
She didn't feel the need to rush out with a statement because she's tired of commenting on every Trump drama. And I think that gets to what Republican candidates are dealing with now. How much do you have to talk about this?
Lester, it gets to the heart of the frustration that so many Republican candidates are dealing with and that so many Republicans on Capitol Hill are dealing with. That their entire work revolves around responding to former President Trump and his controversies, and now in this case, his legal battles. And again, this is a major test for each and every one of these GOP candidates. We know how Chris Christie is conducting his
sensing detention.
Issue that Republicans want or don't want to talk about. Do you think that the former president will speak after this indictment today? We saw it happen before.
He sure has after the other indictments. Remember what happened?
That's why
he went to Versailles. That
sat around all morning waiting for it, mainly in this or the company. Yeah, exactly. Nancy, we're just spending.
Okay, so now it's confirmed. And look, he turns these moments into campaign events, right? And this is his way again of saying, "I'm not fighting for me. I am fighting for you." And that is a familiar Trumpian scene.
It's the political. A good defense is a good offense, and
why doesn't he just? If he was going to, was he in Bedminster? Why doesn't he just drive?
I just want to point out what we're watching on screen. So this
Why
is
did you
obviously
fly a
members of
whole
motorcade traveling from Washington. They just went through a tunnel literally underneath the Capitol, underneath the U.S. Capitol building. We've talked about how close the courthouse has been to, as you say, Savannah, the scene of the alleged crime. I mean, they are crisscrossing that path. He's going to be at the airport, driven this many a time, and probably about 6 minutes with the motorcade. So we're not too far away from those remarks.
Yeah. I'm also struck by the disparity between Trump inside the courtroom versus the Trump that we are about to see when he steps before the microphone in the courtroom, following, of course, the protocols, as Garrett said, maybe getting a little bit frustrated while he was waiting for the judge. But compliant when he needs to be, and then obviously a very different personality. And I think that those who are close to the former president would say something similar, that when you are in a room with former President Trump, he can be someone who is not only cordial, but who's, someone who's enjoyable to engage with, and yet the bombast, the attacks, that's really what he's made signature piece of his campaigning.
Let's go to Chuck Todd, who has been sending me on text very fascinating suggestions about this notion of witnesses. Okay, we talked about it, and the judge has made clear the defendant is not to try to speak with witnesses. However, these unindicted co-conspirators, many of them are people that Donald Trump knows, and some of them may be people that he continues to associate with. For example, Jason Miller, his top advisor, who is in that motorcade right now, is in the indictment, is a potential witness. There are others. So Chuck, I'm gonna let you set it up with some of the questions.
Right.
They're very enticing, and then I'm gonna let the real lawyers answer what they think might happen here. Chuck.
Well, we know Mike Pence is a witness, and if they are on a debate stage together, this is likely to come up, right? So that would be question one from all the lawyers on set there. Is that a violation of the order, right? If they're actually having a conversation
About the facts of the
this.
case.
That's
Interesting,
number
right?
one.
Yeah.
But to me, this is the real question I'm asking. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. If you're an unindicted co-conspirator, number one, does the government inform you? That's a question I have. Number two, if you're Donald Trump, you've been told you cannot interact with these witnesses, right, on this case. But if they haven't told, let's say, I don't want to name that, but there's a person that one news organization has identified as co-conspirator number 6. We do not have enough information to go with that. If that is indeed the case, doesn't the government have a duty to inform the defendant, in this case, former President Trump, hey, by the way, a guy that travels with you all the time is unindicted co-conspirator number X. You cannot talk with him. You see what I'm saying? You can't entrap him. Does the government have a duty to inform him of these folks?
So they will produce
God, I
a
was
list
muted.
of
I'm so sorry, you guys.
all the witnesses
Like some
who would
golden
be
age
off
market
limits.
tonight,
I think
just
the
this box.
scenario you raise about the debate stage is interesting, but in reality,
Sure.
someone has to bring the
Sorry.
violation to the court's attention. And the court did admonish him there today. Look, if you violate this order, you could actually be arrested and held in custody for that. And so it's a serious admonition that she's giving him. That you have to follow this sort of no contact order. But in reality, I don't think the debate stage would be a violation. I think they're really contemplating is something far more nefarious, which is actually sort of trying to coordinate on testimony. In answer to your other question, the government is under no obligation to say to any of the alleged unindicted co-conspirators, hey, we didn't name you in this,
I think I'll be
but
listening
you
to
actually
Spaces
are
tonight.
unindicted co-conspirator number 2. Having said that, I think it's probably fair to guess that these people know who they are. Many of them have been before the grand jury. Many of them have certainly talked with federal prosecutors in different settings, as we know, and we've reported on Rudy Giuliani going in for a proper session on at least 2 different occasions with the special counsel's office. So go ahead.
Let me bring Carol Lamb, a former federal prosecutor and NBC News legal analyst, to weigh in on this issue of what that order means. Was it perfunctory, or was it directed at this particular defendant because of past history?
I think it probably was brought. It was probably brought in because of this particular defendant. Although there may be instances in other cases where there's been some hint of some sort of getting people's stories together. But I think, Lester, that this was really more prophylactic in nature. And what I mean by that is that the judge, Judge Tooken, who's going to hear this case as the sitting federal district judge, she doesn't want to have this distraction in the future. She's basically issued a warning. I think Laura's exactly right, that in reality, we're not talking about a debate stage or anything. We're talking about a surreptitious or corrupt attempt to influence testimony. It would have to rise to that level before the district judge would find some sort of violation of the conditions of release. So I think that this is really a warning shot. Don't make trouble. Don't make me have to do things that distract us from this trial. I think that's what we're really talking about.
We will get some idea of his ability to self-edit here shortly when the former President Trump addresses the camera there before he boards the plane back to his home in New Jersey. There's the picture from the motorcade that made their way.
That's all right. I just want my car to work.
Yes, tell me which parkway it is.
There's the airport signs there.
Right there. Okay.
He's close.
There's a parkway that you go into the airport. That's the road you're on.
Yes, on the way to Reagan National Airport, which is also very close to the courthouse and the Capitol and Center of Washington, D.C. This lawyer talk is really interesting, Laura, because down in Florida, there are co-defendants. And there are cases where the lawyer is getting cross-contaminated, so to speak, what's legal, what isn't legal. You have cases where I think the former president's legal defense fund is paying for the counsel for some of his co-defendants.
I wonder if
So the plot thickens. That's permitted, by the way. It's not illegal.
And the special counsel's office is all over this, already bringing it to the judge's attention. There are certainly plenty of times where you can imagine a corporation pays for the legal defense of its employees. Happens all the time. Nothing inherently illegal or nefarious about that.
Yeah, but not
the situation that we have here, the prosecutors are worried about, is that you have lawyers representing both a cooperator and someone who has now been indicted. And you cannot have a lawyer cross-examining a former client about things that they know because they were his lawyer.
Going
There's some
to
ethical
brunch,
prohibition as well.
There's
I mean, a
ethical
lawyer's not
out now
supposed
to
ethical prohibition.
going to
For
branch
people
out.
who might be wondering, why in the world does Jack Smith
I need
care
to
about
get some
that?
plants.
Because
I want to get
if
some
in
plants.
fact the client decides to get hip to the fact that there might have been an issue with their counsel and perhaps maybe they weren't advised properly, the whole case can fall apart because the person has a Sixth Amendment right to effective counsel. And if they can show, oh, actually, my counsel wasn't actually giving me the best advice because they were represented by somebody else who had other interests at plan, and those are adverse interests, then Jack Smith loses this whole case.
Try cutting
Those cases fall apart. So that's why Jack
on the
Smith is
next
the one
accidental
raising this
one
issue
instead of the whole
about
top,
potential
and
conflicts.
it will start growing
That's
back
why he's
faster.
the one who's interested in
He's
it.
going to try to get ahead of it. We're just coming up now on the top of the hour, 5 o'clock East Coast time, Washington, D.C., and we're watching this motorcade arrive at Reagan National Airport. And we are expecting to hear from the former president, set to speak after he just pleaded not guilty to all 4 counts in a Washington, D.C. courtroom. The case there, his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
He is set to speak, as we noted, at the airport soon. His arraignment wrapped up a few minutes ago at a federal courthouse 1 block away from the Capitol. He left the courthouse. He's now making his way back to his property in New Jersey, pulling onto the private terminal there at Washington National Airport, where he will make the remarks and then board his personal plane back to New Jersey. The whole hearing, we're told, lasted about 27 minutes, but it is the third arraignment, third indictment of this former president, and perhaps the most serious, as it accuses a former president of the United States with essentially trying to block the lawful transfer of power.
You know, the arraignment is the formal reading of the charges, a plea of not guilty from the defendant, former President Trump. And the judge also set an August 28th date. This will be the first hearing in the case that will go over to Judge Chutkan, who will preside over the trial. The judge, as is expected in any arraignment, went over the counts, went over the penalties, made an admonition about not trying to influence a juror in any way. This judge took pains to say that is a violation of the law, talked about not talking to witnesses. So all of that took place in an arraignment that in some ways was quite ordinary and in every other way quite extraordinary. Garrett Haig was inside the courtroom. Garrett, tell us about what it was like inside that courtroom. You've got Jack Smith right there, and you have the former president of the United States, protected by Secret Service, I might add, right there as well.
Yeah, that's right. Savannah, I've been in all 3 of these arraignments, and I have to tell you, with each of these, it's felt a little more normal in the weirdest way. And I think you can see that in the countenance of the former president when he's in these courtrooms, too. In New York, he was tight. He was tense. He didn't look around the room. He just sort of glowered and looked straight ahead. In Miami, same kind of thing. He went to great lengths not to look in Jack Smith's direction. He didn't seem chatty, even with his own attorneys. He was very tight. In this case, he made a point to be seen kind of looking around, making eye contact with people, basically everyone in the room except Jack Smith. The security posture in this courtroom felt, if not looser, a little bit more relaxed. They had seen how this has been done in other courtrooms and had their own strategy for handling it. And there was a spectator aspect to it in the courtroom where family members of the presiding magistrate judge, other judges from this district, and their family members were seated in the back of the courtroom too. They wanted to come and see what was going to happen in this room. So that feeling was very noticeably different, I think, than what we saw in these other arraignments. But the one thing that I think was consistent between Miami and this was Jack Smith's presence. I mean, Smith has said so little publicly. during all of this, by design, by the nature of his role. But he does kind of command the room. He made a point to be seen sort of staring in Donald Trump's direction almost the entire time that Trump was in the room. He was very clearly looking at him from across the room on the prosecution side. And when Donald Trump and his entourage, including by my count, at least 9 Secret Service agents and 1 aide left the courtroom at the conclusion of the hearing, Smith stayed and made a point to shake hands with even junior members of the team. He was laughing, he was smiling. He was showing that sort of this is a home game for the Justice Department, and that certainly seemed to be the feeling in the room, at least as I observed it.
And we're waiting for former President Trump now to emerge from the airplane. His Secret Service agents and staff waiting there. We saw the cameras moving and shaking as members of the campaign press corps were making their way to the actual aircraft.
For a minute, I thought my child was on FaceTime. That's what that shot looked like. That's pretty much the same feel, but we've steadied up now. We now wait for the emergence of the former president, who's going to make brief remarks, we're told, here after his third indictment. Let's take a step back here and please, Laura, keep an eye on this, because when he speaks, we first want to stop. The strength of the case, the Mar-a-Lago documents case versus the case that we see.
The plants are about 6 feet inches apart, so I think each one of them needs time blockage. Individually, they
America, and it was also very sad driving through Washington, D.C. and seeing the filth and the decay and all of the broken buildings and walls and the graffiti. This is not the place that I left. It's a very sad thing to see it. When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America. This is the persecution of the person that's leading by very, very substantial numbers in the Republican primary and leading Biden by a lot. So if you can't beat him, you persecute him or you prosecute him. We can't let this happen in America. Thank you very much.
Do you want these trials to happen before the 2024 election?
What about all the evidence?
Some
What about all the
comments we
evidence?
may have
What
expected.
about all the
It's a sad
evidence?
day for America.
Oh, look, there's
Some
Jonathan
we
Swan. I can't
didn't
stand
expect.
him.
And
I
those
think
comments
Axios
about
is
the situation in Washington,
right
D.C., graffiti and decay,
But
as
now
he
it's the same
described it.
speech, Nancy. What were we
Taking
waiting
a shot
for?
at the
Why
local
not?
leadership there in Washington on his way out the door. He just made the central argument that he's making here. That's it's weaponizing the justice system. They don't want him to win, so they're going after him using the judicial system. That is an argument that many Republican voters
Doesn't
are
want to go to
currently buying.
jail.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the most surprising thing about what we just saw is how short it was. He didn't take questions. We know he likes to mix it up with the press. It underscores, I think, part of what Garrett was reporting that he witnessed inside the courtroom, which was that former President Trump was very serious and a bit somber. But Savannah, this is the crux of his argument. Republicans are believing it. That's why Jack Smith came out and defended
right after the
this
election.
indictment.
Yeah,
And he
all
only
knew
spoke
it.
very briefly as well, but also defended the
He
Justice
should have
Department,
taken his
defended
money
this
and run.
investigation. And this is going to be an
He really should have,
ongoing
I guess.
theme
I
throughout
mean,
this campaign. That's why, by the way, President Biden is not commenting on
I guess
this,
this is
not
the
on
only
this
way
indictment or
his
any of the
fellow
other
can get paid.
indictments.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't want to feed into the narrative that he
He
is in
is
some
the
way
fellow
linked
It
to
wouldn't be
this.
appropriate for any defendant. I mean, you don't see a president commenting on any criminal case,
Did we
let
just hear
alone a political
caution, though?
rival.
Did we just hear a note of caution in his remarks? The fact that he
Oh,
kept
it's
it
starting
short
to
and
jump.
stuck to
I'm
just
sorry.
those talking points he's been hanging on to?
He could also just be, I'm just going to say, he could just be in a mood, right? I mean, and that's what we've seen from Donald Trump, is that he very much does what he wants to do in the moment that he wants to do it. So yes, it is entirely possible that his attorney said to him, hey, like, let's keep this brief, let's stick to some kind of a script, but it's also possible that the former president is just doing what he wants. Here's the thing though, clip and save that. Play it at this next rally coming up this weekend, both nights. I mean, that is what you're going to hear. To Savannah, your point again and again. You talk about the idea that this is potentially politically persuasive to Republican primary voters. I hear that in conversations with Republicans across the spectrum. You look at the erosion of trust in the Department of Justice, in the FBI. It has been substantial.
And you wish they
it is
dressed
real.
better,
When you look
Nancy.
at how
Remember
few
that? You wish they
Republicans
looked
have a
better.
degree of trust in either of those institutions.
What I also hear from some
Yeah, he's
Republicans is
crazy.
exactly what Hallie is saying. And then privately they say, and yet we don't think that former President Trump should be the nominee. That is the type of dichotomy. That is the type of challenge I think that Republicans are dealing with right now, this internal battle inside the party.
Well, let's talk about the cases here, because now the arraignment on the third indictment is done. We've got got 3 cases going. The Manhattan hush money case, it's a state court case. You have the federal case in the Southern District of Florida and Florida Mar-a-Lago having to do with the mishandling of classified documents. And now we have this 3rd indictment that, as I said before, it goes to the heart of the matter, this issue of whether or not the former president tried to remain in power in contravention of our Constitution and the law. Judging the merits of these cases, just in terms of the evidence that we see in the indictment, it seems to me that the Florida indictment is the tightest and the strongest. This Washington indictment is the most important.
I would agree with you. I think the Florida case is just the cleanest. It's not nearly as complicated. Yes, it involves classified documents, which maybe not everybody at home is familiar with, but the general allegation is he took the documents he wasn't supposed to have and then tried to delete the video when asked to return them.
That basically makes it look like they got it all. Audio, witness testimony, surveillance video. It looks like they have it cold in terms of the evidence. Much more tricky issues in this indictment.
It doesn't involve the same sort of complex questions about his state of mind. It's just a question of, did he take the documents when he wasn't supposed to or not? And I'm just reminded, we saw on that video, Walt Mata, a co-defendant, his longtime valet and aide, is the one handing him the umbrella when he's getting on the plane there. And it just reminds you again, we've talked about how inextricably linked he is to all of these people who are either witnesses or, in this case, a co-defendant who he's not supposed to be talking about the facts of the case with, but yet is there traveling with him all the time, handing him an umbrella.
Let's talk about those comments being persecuted. We noted that that's going to be the mantra and has been the mantra up until the trial. Does it have any effect on or telegraph what the defense is going to do and how they're going to defend?
Again, you get into sort of this theory about arguments that he makes in sort of the public sphere, for public consumption, versus arguments that will actually be made in court. And the political prosecution one, I don't think is one that you're going to actually hear his lawyers stand up and make in court, but certainly it is, I will let Kristen weigh in on this, but it certainly plays well for him politically, and he focuses off of every time that we have one of these arraignments. And so it is certainly a narrative that we're going to see, but I don't think it's a legal argument that you're actually going to hear.
What about defense lawyer Danny Savellos? Would you try that one? Do you think you could get a judge to allow you to say this is political persecution? That's what this is about.
That's the key, is getting it in. But if you can get in this kind of evidence, and you're going to try and get in evidence of, for example, 1960 in Hawaii. Maybe you try to get in evidence of Jamie Raskin. You remember that he stood up and objected to electors. Maybe you try to make that point. But the problem is getting that kind of evidence in. So you do it another way. You do put on, if you can, if it's allowed in, you put the election itself on trial. And if you can't do it directly, you crowbar it in the side any way you can. And you do that by marching in any witnesses you can to show that Donald Trump was told time and again that there were problems with the election. And that, should he have done a follow-up? Should he have investigated more? No, he relied on people around him. Then also you look have Donald Trump blame, if, for example, someone alleges that a co-conspirator pushed some of this election fraud in other states, you say, well, that was him doing it. Now, you asked about the order of these cases. Here they are, 1 to 4. I'll give them to you. Number 1, Mar-a-Lago. That is the strongest case by far. Number 2 and number 3, kind of a toss-up, but this case in D.C.
Please come to the
number
lounge
2.
tomorrow.
The main reason that 1
We're
and 2
going to do trivia.
Federal prosecutors
We're going to read
they
some
do not
dramatic
lose. They win
testimony.
95% of the time. So playing the odds,
We're
I
gonna
put them
laugh.
1 and 2. Now here, you're wondering, what is my 4th? Well, it's a case that isn't
I
even
might
yet.
make
It is in Logan
cookies.
County. That I'm putting at number
I'm
3,
gonna go ahead and
and
stop
that's a
these
case
guys.
that isn't
This is so
even a
boring.
case yet. That shows you how highly or lowly I.
Okay, I know. My face is huge right now. I'm so sorry. Apologies. My face is so huge right now. But I think I'm going to go on maybe a member. Oh. We'll be lounging. Yay. Yeah. I was wondering, I wonder, should I cook tomorrow? Should I bake something? Should I bake a cake with a file in it for him? Buy a lottery ticket? Oh, yeah. No problem. No problem, Tom. I'll do it. I'll buy one. I like that your face is huge. I don't like it. But thank you anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the car place. But yeah, what should we do tomorrow at the lounge? I really want to go to the beach, but I just can't figure out how to like get everything. Make licorice. Come on now. We need licorice? I don't know how to do all that. I don't know how to do all that. Anyway. Oh no, thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much for coming. It's so nice. A mail file. These days he's probably biting his fingers. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. He's gross. He's so gross. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming today. I really appreciate you spending your morning or your afternoon with me. And I'll see you on the interwebs, and I will kick-ass gelatin and corn syrup. No, there's no corn syrup. I actually had corn syrup. You would if you could find them small hands. All right. I adore you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for spending time. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the Jackie Kennedy green gold. What's that? I don't know what that means. Oh, is this is a bathing suit. I'm wearing my bathing suit. I'm wearing my surf naked t-shirt. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you later. And again, thank you for spending your morning with me. Be nice and don't meet people. It's what you're wearing. Oh, well, it's gray. I think it's great. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Nancy. That was very nice of you. Anyway, I think you guys are awesome. Have a wonderful day. Be nice. And if you're thinking of fucking with me, you better rethink it. Because I got you, baby. Anyway, see you later. Bye.